omobiranda ngakukolere Yesu omulonzo lunene oluwanga nayo kumuti egologosa inje mundu nabyaweri hola muwanyutiro musasi busana nolonzo ngwitire iwe mulamya wae Yesu ngabye wawe ungolesa yechowanzi nanatoka erikala nawe omobiranda nanga kusimini tata inje mwana wawe nanga kuachi Yesu musana nebibuya olwanzo nobutochi nolukengerwa ebyosi ukamberera yaha ukamba omutima mubuya olwanzo inatokerisikira omuliwe hehe ukamba omutima mubuya olwanzo inatokerisikira omuliwe ngakukolere Yesu omulonzo lunene oluwanga nayo kumuti egologosa inje mundu nabyaweri hola muwanyutiro musasi busana nolonzo ngwitire iwe mulamya wae Yesu ngabye wawe ungolesa yechowanzire nanatoka erikala nawe omobiranda ngakukolere Yesu omulonzo lunene oluwanga nayo kumuti egologosa inje mundu nabyaweri hola muwanyutiro musasi busana nolonzo ngwitire iwe mulamya wae Yesu ngabye wawe ungolesa yechowanzi nanatoka erikala nawe omobiranda.
Amen. Mwasinja kutsebo banyene betu are the United Singers. Mutasemba Rwembo Roma ventonabya etukachenga ndakataka yechiro echa munawire. Rwembo Roma rosa tukachenga ndakataka usana nechiro echa munawire. Mwasinja kutsebo bolikirire abatukemiri kwa kinimba Light Radio enyibusi ahamangabya emule kandi munaholikirire.
Ekelezo byawe byonna obwire bwawe bwine bwonna muteke mu ngalo za Mukama era Mukama wetu tasobola kutulekera engonzi ze hali twenyingi muno akasobola kuzoleka musala
akafa kale
kufa kwe kukatuchungura ekiwo ky'omutwe mutayi erikuhulukire byakyo wangina taluka kucho neribulya bibulyo binene endeke nenabi ebyo sibisamalire omundu nikwo kyawutolere waminya obuholo kanibuke nibya ekiwo ky'omutwe mutayi erikuhulukire byakyo wangina taluka kucho neribulya bibulyo binene endeke nenabi ebyo sibisamalire omundu nikwo kyawutolere waminya obuholo kanibuke nibya uwambendeke iwe siwulika auhambire erikirira lyawe tahini likulu omungebe yawe yubu mwayinya busana nebyo ebyalabamo kyalekinya kinda ebirito ebyamuhikako uwambendeke iwe siwulika auhambire erikirira lyawe tahini likulu omungebe yawe yubu mwayinya busana nebyo ebyalabammo chichale kinya china ebirito ebyamuhikako echo tukira okoyubu abikirira bamunabwire twangina byangiye omomibere itwana chinda abandi bo kwitwe bakarikane lisubirire nyuma bakibirira wiyo Yesu kwangina lamya bonibya echo tukira okoyubu abikirira bamunabwire twangina byangiye omomibere itwana chinda abandi bo kwitwe bakarikane lisubirire nyuma bakibirira wiyo Yesu kwangina lamya bonibya wabendeke iwe siulika hauhambire elikirira lyawe tahinirikulu omungebe yawe yubu mwayinya busana nebyo ebyalabammo chochale kinya china ebirito ebyamuhikako wabendeke iwe siulika hauhambire elikirira lyawe tahinirikulu omungebe yawe yubu mwayinya busana nebyo ebyalabammo chochale kinya china ebirito ebyamuhikako obuteme buli nabo abakikirira ya Yesu asabya nabo endambisya bwesosi asyahumulika nyabo omundambisya ebirito nawe wikirira Yesu Kristo mulamya wawe obuteme buli nabo abakikirira ya Yesu asabya nabo endambisya bwesosi asyahumulika nyabo omundambisya ebirito nawe wikirira Yesu Kristo mulamya wawe obuteme buli nabo abakikirira ya Yesu asabya nabo endambisya bwesosi asahumulika nyabo omundambisya ebirito nawe wikirira Yesu Kristo mulamya wawe nawe wikirira Yesu Kristo mulamya wawe nawe wikirira Yesu Kristo mulamya wawe nawe wikirira Yesu Kristo mulamya wawe.
Amen. Mwasinja kutsibu banyine betu ave United Singers busanene kumairia umwami mukuru umwanyimbo eskaramba muli kiri mwanza tukoti mwasinja kutsibu eribya emune okwa radio kande echeria chamasubuliraho tukende saba omushakuru Harrison Mani ake shire ya musabe okakuningira tunemubya etukaenda busana nasenende gateka
mwame mukulu tato isiri orukogo nereanyira twamasemberesya nga bana baokundambye yi tukakusima busana nebekulu tata ebukatukolera wasinja mukama eritumulikania omwakinywa cyawe wasinja tata eribya unatuhambirire singa besikuwetu busana neki covid ekikalabalabamo banyicyetu banene cyabiri twihaboko betu itwe tukeneho busana n'orukoho rwawe tata olwanzo banene banyo mu maka abanahulikirire ekinywa cyawo werera yebo muyisa tata olwanzo tukakusima esutute busobulero busana neribye bunimuramya abarwere abali mu masipatara banamurama n'abali mu maka banamurama tukakusaba mukama tutuherera yebo abate balama mubatse watarangira wanenziwo tata nyamuhanga olwanzo leka tusabye bikebi ebituni mu birabya omuli nali omwana wikarama ya Kristo mukama wetu.
Amina. Mulikiri mwanzo wikale une okwa radio kunene kateka eye light focus yene mwasa ahamberaho tukesaba nanga n'ekindi kiro omukama anansire.
Ibitekerezo byawe byonna, obwire bwawe bwine bwonna, buteeke mu ngalo za Mukama. Lora Mukama wetu tasobola kutulekera, engonzi ze halitwe nyingi muno, akasobola kuzoleka musalaba.
Akafa Kale
kufa kwe kukatuchungura.
Akafa Kale
kufa kwe kukatuchungura.
Haleluya
Yesu
ukasobora
kubera obwomezi bwaitu bushya, owaisanizi weke
ebiro byonna. Haleluya Yesu
Haleluya Yesu
ukasobora
kubera obwomezi bwaitu bushya, owaisanizi weke
ebiro byonna.
Gama yawe yonna, nebi tinsa yawe byonna, okabireko ku Yesu mikulu, wacamu bw'iryo cyungura abasisi bonna mu nsi. Embabazi zawe Yesu nyingi muno, otasobole kusorora muntu wenna wenna, kwali kugonza kwawe tutuwa bumezi, webale mwali Mukama,
Kwali kugonza kwawe
kugonza kwawe tutuwa bumezi,
webale muno.
Haleluya Yesu
ukasobora
kubera obwomezi bwaitu bushya, owaisanizi weke
ebiro byonna. Haleluya Yesu
Haleluya Yesu
ukasobora
kubera obwomezi bwaitu bushya, owaisanizi weke
ebiro byonna.
Yesu olukusaba bwetu, tekaniza obwomezi bwaitu abukugaruka kwawe, otetekanize tugenda nawe mwiguru. Yesu olukusaba bwetu, tekaniza obwomezi bwaitu abukugaruka kwawe, otetekanize tugenda nawe mwiguru. Yesu olukusaba bwetu, tekaniza obwomezi bwaitu abukugaruka kwawe, otetekanize tugenda nawe mwiguru. Bamulinda abo amasa mulenge asasende muka omujanya omwana owenguli oyutube tukalinda tata wetu amasapenda abamwikiriraya mulenge asasende muka kuzibu eyo molubula tukaebawa ewasinja erirwa eiro mwami wetu asatu mubikuba liumisiriza nisingura basa ewegebe yerikota kera na kera basa kemba nerila echihuo baitwa mahinda basa kemba nerila echihuo baitwa mahinda basa tena kuzibu eyo molubula tukaebawa ewasija erirwa eiro mwami wetu asatu mubikuba liumisiriza nisingura basa ewegebe yerikota kera na kera basa kemba nerila echihuo baitwa mahinda basa kemba nerila echihuo baitwa mahinda emibiri yetu twasakola tunne omolubula twasa ewe shonyota mutina abalisha balikoni ba Kristo abosi twasala tukakangusana ngengununu yenjacha twasabya elubula basomesya twasaidahidana nabalayika mulubula
basatubulya story ya chihuo twasabawira sibyanguyiretahi
twasasomesyango emyaka 10
basatubulya story ya chihuo twasabawira sibyanguyiretahi
twasasomesyango emyaka 10 twasatema kuzibu eyo molubula tukaebawa ewasinja erirwa eiro mwami wetu asatu mubikuba liumisiriza nisingura basa ewegebe yerikota kera na kera basa kemba nerila echihuo baitwa mahinda basa kemba nerila echihuo baitwa mahinda twasatema kuzibu eyo molubula tukaebawa ewasinja erirwa eiro mwami wetu asatu mubikuba liumisiriza nisingura basa ewegebe yerikota kera na kera basa kemba nerila echihuo baitwa mahinda basa kemba nerila echihuo baitwa mahinda elubula ekasigala nabalayika omubitubi byetu basatubulya eyo mulwebirwe biti mutusobolere tahi netutwangaminya twasabasubirya emitwalo nireko mukihuo kiryatahi bikawunereraya banyonyi betu bahola omukali imyakula akabuta omulume inalebyo moluzaluwe kundabi eyitahi twamabano mulamo kundabi eyitahi twamabano mulamo banyonyi betu bahola omukali imyakula akabuta omulume inalebyo moluzaluwe kundabi eyitahi twamabano mulamo kundabi eyitahi twamabano mulamo
Twasatema
kuzibu eyo molubula
tukaebawa
ewasinja kemba nerina echiwo baitwa mahinda Twasya kemba nerina echiwo baitwa mahinda Twasya tema kuzibu eyo molula Tukaebawa ewasija eriba eiro mwami Asatu mwabekuba liumisiriza nesingura Twasya ewekele erikota kera na kera Twasya kemba nerina echiwo baitwa mahinda 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 Asatu mwabekuba liumisiriza nesingura Twasya ewekele erikota kera na kera Twasya kemba nerina echiwo baitwa mahinda Twasya kemba nerina echiwo baitwa mahinda Twasya kemba nerina echiwo baitwa mahinda Twasya kemba nerina echiwo baitwa mahinda
On the way, at home, and everywhere.
You can follow us online www.lightfm.fun, Facebook 102.9 Light FM, on YouTube AWR 102.9 Light FM, The Voice of Hope. On Google, just type AWR 102.9 Light FM Kasese live. On Twitter AWR 102.9 Light FM Kasese.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is 102.9 Light FM, the voice of hope. Ladies and gentlemen, this is 102.9 Light FM, the voice of hope.
Your local time check.
It is exactly 2 p.m. Time check is brought to you by
102.9 Light FM.
No borders.
No limits.
The news.
Omwati.
Habari.
Amawulire.
The news. 102.9 Light.
A good afternoon, dear listener. 102.9 Light FM. My name is Nyabo C. Febrin. Simply record the news and fast are the headlines. Residents of Kanyangeya Ward in Nyamwamba Division, Kase Municipality, have called on leaders to improvise for them temporary latrines for proper disposal of fecal matters. The head teacher, Katerera ICDA Primary School in Katerera Town Council, Katerera County in Rubirizi District, Mr. Emi Mohamed, has congratulated candidates who sat 2020 primary leaving examinations for passing with flying colors. And Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu has been vaccinated against COVID-19. Now, dear listener, join me for the news in detail. Residents of Kanyangeya Ward in Nyamwamba Division, Kase Municipality, have called on leaders to improvise for them temporary latrines for proper disposal of fecal matter. They say that lack of latrines was caused by River Nyamwamba that burst its banks and flooded into communities, displacing many of them. The floods then destroyed the housed latrines and swept away people's crops. Farida Kabuo, who was displaced by floods, told Light FM that she was among the IDPs who were not registered and chased from Mohocha transit camp. She said that on returning to Kanyangeya, they found a challenge of lack of latrines since they were washed away by floods. She asks leaders to improvise for them temporary latrines before a long-lasting solution for River Nyamwamba floods is reached. Kabuo speaking.
Bakatubengera muhoja tukasubana eruso manyumba kwa kutusubama kana manyumba natandiri ngawote ekitsibu tuta ekitsibu kale situ tukaiwatika ya haka buyonzu ukasangana ngo bulo lingisani bwa masa tuta ekitsibu etukendirwa tugenda mwachi chichitia chiti ndicho kala chitsibu kandi chituwite lweru abalimi batuwatikaya omubiri batulani siriemu eri bangana tukolera tutaka bangana tukolera otutoita otolubolo kutanga butumwiwa.
Lois Kabugo Yongeza contends that many residents use stagnant water to help themselves. However, she explains that stagnant water is also a habitat for crocodiles and a breeding place for mosquitoes that spread malaria. Kabugo requests leaders to lobby for them mosquito nets to fight malaria among its residents.
Abantu bekanyangeya ebitsiwe byatuwite amaitso tuwite ngalu nabiri kalamu ebesoro ebi babirete tuweticha amaitsa babiri sendiawo nganihira bisoro sibyantu sabana ko maitsayu okumenzo yana mabiri buwa tutebetsibu ebishyatoyi eshyatoyi okwabuli muyi enambene nekanyangeye sehali omuyi owali kwetoyi tukayiwatikira ya omamaitsa mazima riba bwiro bwino obora mundu akendo omamaitsa amubitsa bilekiri ebyo emebwa ekanyangeye iniyo ilekiri tukasaba emitutso yetu yahamba abandu kandi nacho chikabya kitsibwe kanyangeye batu watikaye amachalu chikanyangeye kyosi at least balate mu butimbo bwemebwa basi babiri abandu bosi abe kanyangeye.
Hannington Mako IVHT in Kanyangea noted that they are faced with a challenge of lack of water and children have started drinking that stagnant water, resulting into diarrhea, malaria and scabies. He too asked for more mosquito nets.
Amagete abiritskaribya kuma ewato Kanyangeyeno nero esa henu abana bali kutsikerinyo ebeyete ebyaberareka omubandi bakali kumuchi omwabuni so obubezi bw'abana babiri bakuti bari bakaramerara abandi okwabo babitsuka eritoroka abandi okwabo babitsuka erwara obuhera okumubere wabo nabande uwamapime Kanyangeya akwabantu 10 abantu 9 bahambire obwere bumutsutsi songali asabenda omwe butuko mutsataliye bunza habantu amachipunicha Kanyangeya mutwangu here ngali asaba in a government obutimba bwa magaba mubuto hindana abantu abosi so yamabi magana twatunge mevera ire bane mubundi butimba mutuhera ye.
The head teacher Katerra SDA Primary School in Katerra Town Council, Katerra County in Rubirizi District, Mr. Emi Mohamed, has congratulated the candidates who sat 2020 primary leaving examinations for passing with flying colors. Mr. Mohamed, who spoke to Light FM in a telephone interview today, noted that 33 candidates sat for P7 exams. 27 were in first division and 6 in second grade. Mohamed explained that the best candidates had 8 aggregates and the last one in second grade had 14 aggregates. The head teacher attributed this success to hard-working teachers and praying to God. Mr. Mohamed explains.
So people who sat for PROG, there were 33. We managed to get 27 first grade and 6 in the second grade. Then the first 4 had 8 and the last one in second grade having 14. What would be the results of good performance? The hard working of teachers plus prayer.
He advises parents to provide all support to their children like scholastic materials so that they can perform better. Mohamed also urged leaders who are still locked up at home to continue reading. Mohamed also urged learners who are still locked up at home to continue reading their books so that they are ready for studies when school reopens.
Advice that I'm giving to the parents first is that the parents should mind much in providing the scholastic materials to the kids, and the message that I'm giving to those children who are still locked up at home is that though we are in the period of lockdown, they should keep revising their books, but they should not forget what they.
Mr. Mika Siwakulia, Director of Studies, attributed the good performance to teachers' hard work. Bright pupils, provision of meals for pupils and parents who paid school fees on time. In 2019, the school again performed well with 16 candidates in first grade. According to records that Light FM has seen, Katerra SDA Primary School was the second best SDA school across Uganda amongst about 83 church-based primary schools. The best SDA primary school in the 2020 PLOE was in Tandi SDA Integrated Primary School in Bondibujo District, with 52 first grades. Kikyo SDA Primary School, still in Bundibujo, was third with 19 first grades, while Kireka SDA Primary School in Wachiso District was fourth. Kasese SDA Primary School in fifth position had 11 candidates in grade 1. The Ugandan National Examinations Board is today set to brief the Education Minister Janet Museveni on the performance of students who sat for the 2020 Uganda Certificate of Education exams. This comes ahead of the official release of the 2020 UCE results by the ministry on Friday this week. This is the second set of the national examination results to be released after primary leaving examination results that were released 2 weeks ago. Speaking to Light FM, the Ministry of Education spokesperson Patrick Muinda explained that traditionally, before any results are released, the minister is supposed to be briefed by UNEP on how students have performed. A total of 333,889 candidates registered for 2020 UCE examinations from 3,935 centers. Out of these, 49.8% of the candidates were male, while 50.1% were female. 148,135 of the candidates were under universal secondary education, while 185,755 candidates were non-USE candidates. Telecom company Airtel Uganda has distanced itself from claims that they made double payments to beneficiaries of the shillings 100,000 COVID-19 cash relief. The Telecom, together with the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development and Post Bank, have been on the spot following the double payment of up to 6,000 beneficiaries of shillings 100,000 COVID-19 relief cash, an error that made government lose shillings 600 million. The Post Bank grants manager George Kiyenji has since confirmed the error, revealing that they used two systems to pay people and alleged that the error was made by Airtel. In response, however, the Airtel Public Relations Manager Sumini Namaganda said that all payments were made by Postbank and that they only provided a platform using the Airtel Mobile Commerce Uganda Limited through which payments were made. She added that the recipients' numbers, amounts and payments were all carried out by Postbank. Elsewhere in the world, Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu has been vaccinated against COVID-19. The president, who took office in March, said that Tanzania isn't an island and that is why they are starting vaccination. Her predecessor, the late John Magufuli, was a coronavirus skeptic and was opposed to foreign-made vaccines. Mrs. Samia has taken a different direction, urging the public to follow preventive guidelines. The country recently received 1 million Johnson & Johnson vaccines through the COVAX initiative. At the launch ceremony, President Samia urged all Tanzanians to get vaccinated and said that more doses would be obtained. Samia said that she wouldn't lead the country on a dangerous path as she was a mother, grandmother, as well as president. Yesterday, Africa Center for Disease Control (CDC) praised the measure President Samia has put in place to prevent the spread of coronavirus. Finally, to wind up, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Residents of Kanyangea Ward in Nyamwamba Division, Kase Municipality have called on leaders to improvise for them temporary latrines for proper disposal of fecal matter. The head teacher at Katera SDA Primary School in Katera Town Council, Katera County in Rubirizi District, Mr. Emi Mohamed, has congratulated candidates who sat 2020 primary leaving examinations for passing with flying colors. And Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu has been vaccinated against COVID-19. Dear listener, that's it from my news desk, and thank you for listening into Light FM. Now, you can follow all our news and programs online. Our website, www.lightfm.fun, F-U-N. On Facebook, 102.9 Light FM. On Twitter, type AWR space 102.9 Light FM Kasese. YouTube, AWR space 102.9 Light FM, the voice of hope. Light FM, we are the voice of hope. No walls, no borders, no limits. My name is Febrin. Have a good after lunch.
No walls,
No borders.
no limits.
The news.
Omwatsi,
Habari.
amawulire.
The news. 102.9 Light. Our memory takes now.
Omulondo wetu alibuka alumezitabucha Isaya sura mukaga omulondo wa munani akabwa ati neryo munowa omulenge omwe mukulu ati ngende tumande nande akende tuendera kwehi neryo muna bwanyeti njiyono hano unyitume usananichi Nyamuhanga mwaberekera Abrahamu ati elumwa lwanda lwewu mwitabo omulenge wewu Nyamuhanga matashaberekera Isaya mu omulenge wewu iwe mwana minyerero omulenge wa kuletwa mu kanisa kutse mwana minyerero omulenge wa kuletwa mu dini yawu kusangwibwa bakeri bakana bwa bati bali suke ndishita bamulenge wa chiri eribuka yitabisisi bwana soma Yohana yokubanza sura ino mulondo wokubanza hikoko omukaga wanalengekania ndeke uleba yendeke omulimu wa Nyamuhanga ngana na wana kusondola omwadini yawe yawole mweyo usangwe mirimo nemenene usananichi tulenge kutsibu abakangiriria ebyo bakatukangirira ngani na binywa ebyakwenene ebikolu kwa mulimu wa Nyamuhanga.
That was the memory takes on Light FM. Keep listening.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is 102.9 Light FM, the voice of hope.
Wano ku Light Farmer
kinemera kumulamwa obwenjiri enyimba okwekulakulanya n'okuyamba omuntu wa bulijjo
ate jjukira Light Farmer ly'eddoboozi ery'essuubi.
Focus program.
The African shores on the basis of mutual respect. If you want to know what we are doing in a respectful way, we can share with you. I need to express my concern, African brothers and sisters, that the situation in a number of points in Africa does not give credit to the African people. The security situations in Libya, Mali, Niger, some parts of Nigeria, Chad, Central African Republic, some parts of Cameroon, Eastern Congo, Somalia, recently Northern Mozambique, etc., must be addressed. First of all, the situation in Libya, as created by the arrogant and irresponsible actions of some actors that took actions that were against the express position of the African Union. I can reveal to you that those actors had a narrow escape. When some actors started attacking Libya against the decision of the African Union, I contacted His Excellency Jacob Zuma of South Africa and proposed that African armies that so decided to intervene in Libya and confront and teach a lesson to those aggressors who were let down by Muammar Gaddafi, who abandoned Tripoli without a fight. With H.E. Jacob Zuma, we are to work out a solution for the aircrafts and cruise missiles that some people use to attack defenseless people from far away, so that if the aggressors so wished could come on the ground and we fight man to man. Such a confrontation would of course have been imposed on us unnecessarily. We have, this long time ago, stated that the African patriots are neither pro-West nor pro-East. We are first and foremost pro-Africa. It is on account of that good friends should only deal with contentious strategic African issues via the African Union. Bypassing the African Union is not acceptable when it comes to dangerous strategic African issues. We have no interest in fighting anybody except poverty and underdevelopment in Africa, starting with Uganda. We are not an enemy, they declare we are an enemy. Unfortunately, the Libyans collapsed quickly. On account of that, much of Northwest Africa has been with security problems that were not there before. I hear people talking about accountability. Who is accountable for this suffering? Who caused all this? Foreign armies attacking an African country against the express objection of the African Union is not a solution. The huge concomitant suffering of the Africans in Libya has proven that Africa can defend itself against any and all aggressors if we coordinate. In 1963, our leaders met
Light Focus program.
Alright, niyejo program Light Focus osibire kurunjoko nibigenda bitayi uri yarigani biri katonyeza mwenda Light Farmer. Let me hope everything is going on well. Nobuturabe turi ombwire obwo kurwanisa COVID-19 konkani manyangu buri kimwe kiriyo kigenda je kurunjo misho. Izoberi nizuba erya Wednesday ebyo byokwezi na 28 ebyo kwezi okwa mshanju omwaka 2021 kandi shaha zaba 8 ne dakika 20. Nekwena tamu ntyo na program yawe enunji eyamakuru program Light Focus nabanyeta abutili ya man of all seasons, and today we are going to be together mpaka shaha 10 ezo mwabazi gwa hati ebya amakuru nkwinire minji ne byafaye nkwinire binkwija kuba ninkusiyaho nabyo byinji kandi nkwerkurisiyayo camp meeting eriyo negendera kimwe kurunjo mishaho kandi neja kuwa izuba erya Saturday this week kandi ebyo kwega biriyo mbigendo mission okubaho omwihangwe omukasheshe na numwabazyo no gendo mission no kuba no hura abagambe batari bamwe na bamwe barukusiyaho obutumwa kandi camp meeting ekatandika izuba erya Sunday neja kuwa izuba erya Saturday deru obase kugendo mission no kuba buri kimwe no kyetegereza je kurunje mnonga. And those of you who are listening to us via online, thank you so much. Kanda hariya bataka change it. You can just go on www.lightfm.fun, join website you to then Facebook 102.9 Light FM, then Twitter and AWR 102.9 Light FM kasese kandi turina YouTube no basako bano irebera je kurunje mnonga kuturiyo tugendo mission okuhereza live on studio kasese Better Living Center. Just go and type in AWR then oteko hyphen never small dash kandi lyagata hagati y'ekigambo wa balancing ekigambo and then ogumizemu oteke kigambo Light FM the voice of hope noija kuba noreba je kurungi mnonga. Actually we are streaming now, wateka mu bigambo bya YouTube yawe nija kuba nekuretera Light FM eri streamed noija kuba noreba hakagambo stream now, kandi base kugenda mission no kwehurira, kandi obwo kureba it is awesome and very amazing one ureba urukura nchichera hukura konka. We are much more than a radio. AWR, remember ngu we are broadcasting 360 degrees netumara yensi yona sako yona degrees igan bishatu nkaga kandi nti broadcastinga purposely to baptize. So mtai wanja ulichiza liyo kwa takabatizibwe, you can forward your name here, base kujendo mission anokuba no yihandikisa. Then at the end of the camp meeting there will be a baptism, kandi obase kwegita ahigana lya Kristo. Kare reka tugende misho amakuru gunkwinirizo beri ya hati mingi okurgo munsi ya Uganda hamwe na heru. Nyenda kuramsia abanywani bitu abaturikirize okurga aheru ya Uganda abariyo myanya etari yemwe mu kwetorora enseji. I will be trying to mix in some English for you. Ntujja kugezaho kubasyaho byona biturukora. And remember haruhu bamwe omba ambassador babasa kweyanjuro wa President Yoweri Museveni amakuru aguninja kubanenga kwa hirontaka kutwiro ko yona reka tubaze ture ebyafayo ebyabire hizo bankeri for the purposes of learning, purposes of remembering, purposes of inspiration na nebindi. Program Light Focus iganibiri katonyezo mwenda Light Farmer. There we go.
Your imaging is about to change forever.
Get inspired by what happened in the past on this date. History will help you to tell the present and the future. Know what happened on this day in the Light Focus program.
Introduce on. Now, where do you get as many options as that?
With Abutuli, the man of all seasons.
With Abutuli, the man of all seasons.
Here's an example. Here's the full mix.
102.9 Light FM.
Okay, edachika nabiri nino murshamna na zihangwe program Light Focus. Twazombya fayo. Ebyabire hizo bankeri emyake ya hingwire izo barkari nkeri ebrabiri na mnana ebyokwezi okwa mshanjo mwaka 12 radho mwaka 1914 28th of July 1914. Hakutandika kwa World War I ihangiri ya Austria-Hungary likadeclare ngurutaro ahihanga eria Serbia. Austria-Hungary declares war on Serbia. Izo bankiri bikabiri ebirabiri na mnana byo kwa mshanjo mwaka 1914. On July 28th 1914, 1 month to the day after Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria and his wife were murdered. They were killed by the Serbian nationalists in Sarajevo. Austria-Hungary declaring ngurutaro ahihanga area Serbia, effectively beginning the First World War. Orutaro rwensi yono ruruhura echo chonka nicho charusparkingire off omwe ahamtabani babagabe obabe mbeta Franz Ferdinand owihangiria Austria hamwe no mcharawe bakabita bakitwa abantu bensi eya Serbia harutindo rubarkweta Sarajevo. Kandi chikorwe echo nchimanywa je kurungi mnonga popularly known as Sarajevo murder incident. Kandi ihangiria Austria-Hungary lyashabangu Serbia ebase kurugeishabe okusasirwa Serbia yayanga. So ekaja ultimatum eyebiro kandi tiyabasa kuba nechiriza okushaboko. So Austria-Hungary was remaining with no option but yoba igura horutaro ahihanga area Serbia. So amahanga gatandika kwe groupinga agamaga kwajira Serbia gandaga kwajira Austria-Hungary rutaro orwensi yono rwo kubanza rutyo rwabarukaho. Of course among other factors nka arms race, hakaharho propaganda ya media, then echinde cha race rutaro rwo hakaharho cry for war hakataka bagurutaro rw'amani rukushana rutyo for years. Na nezindi factors zabase kureta rutaro rwo kubaho. Then urutaro rukagendo mission paka 1919 kandi mtayi wanje urikize n'urwo rutaro rwo kubanza okuborwa ensiyo no ruwagisira mahanga mingi against orwabireho. So niko byabire bityo. Remember omuntu okurugaya kakwigura ho rutaro, that one is understandable. than omuntu yakwiguraho rutaro atakugambire. When someone declares war on you ninga ihangarika declaring rutaro aharindi, that is very much understandable. Kandi of course okurwana kurunomo, wars are normal as long as water breaking the rules of war, watatire mu war crimes ninga crimes against humanity, you can fight why in the interests zawe z'okurwanirira nobasa kugenda mission n'okurwana. So muntu yarga akakujangu nyo tinkwenda nyo hati niwe n'urutaro aho noba ready no mangu yes omuntu nankata kunyenda no mitamburo yawe no yirinda. No manya kuburi omunsi notambula no mangu everything is okay with you. Omuntu akija akakusyaho ekizibu atakugambire, that is very bad. Konka yakugambire no yetebekanisa ekishana koko wakuba noriye byokurya noriye bitoche ningo mcheri nebihimba nebinyowa, you just eat normal as usual. Konka wana oriya fish ninge nyama, you eat aware of possible bones no mango fish ari mwama gufa. So that is how you navigate in your life. No mango, anytime anything can happen. So Austria-Hungary karanji road taro ahiyangiri ya Sabia, First World War I ahonaho yatandika. Kare tugumize mu ombyafa yebindi izoba nkeire birabu na mnana ebyokwezi kwa mshanju omwaka 2016 2016 recent raha. Hillary Clinton accepts Democratic nomination for the president, becoming first woman to lead a major US political party. Mcharu Hillary Clinton izoba nkiri akichiriza abechibine cha Democrats omwihangiri ya America bakamunominatinga ngwayisimba ntebe ya president omwihangirio yabo mukazi wokubanzo mbyafa bya USA okubasa kwebembere kibina ekihango kityo ekyaba Democrats omukaruru akebyo bwa president. 95 years after women were first granted the right to vote on July 28, 2016, former Secretary of State, Senator, and First Lady Hillary Rodham Clinton makes history by accepting the Democratic Party's nomination for president, becoming the first woman to lead a major US political party. Izoba nkiri bikabiri byafayo kuro muri USA. Emyaka ekirchenda netane yabe yahika abamerika babachara bikirizibwo kutera karuru. So mcharo gyagaruka yakore cyafa ikindi obarkweta Hillary Rodham Clinton okubasa kuba mchara okubanza kwebembere kibina kibyo butegeki ekihango kityo ekyaba Democrats. Kandi omcharugu the Democratic National Convention ekashitamo mu Philadelphia but ba nominating omcharugu Clinton 2 days earlier with South Dakota. Kandi yatu yayisimba remember ngwebirebyo akesimbari Donald Trump. Konka Donald Trump akarura kakahuta akamusinga. So we were supposed to see double ebyafayo byemiringa ebiri okureba omukyaro gunaba nominated then nagaruka naba president wa USA. Up to now America tekatungaga president omukyara ohireho hatari yo barkweta Kamala Harris is a vice president, she's not a full president. So embera nkweri yetyo ebyafayo bindi ebiro 28 ebyokwezi okwamshanju omwaka gukaguri ogwa 18 ankaga na mshanju omwaka gukaguri ogwa 10 ankaga na mshanju hakabaho amendment omwihangiri ya America hakabaho ku amendinga constitution. Constitutions are supposed to be amended. Constitution was amending abantu abamwaho muri Uganda recently ahombwire bwa amendment bill yo kuhindura obukomo bw'emyaka yo gwa kwenda kwesimba ntebe yo mwembezi wihanga abinji bakachireba nkechihemu bakachireba nkechitakurwa. I remember others were using words like the constitution has been raped, the constitution has been they use all sorts of words. So constitutions are amended. Ombyafayo byensi na constitution na democracy America ni irihanga ryo kubanza eri abanze ku practicing democracy omyaka ya 1910 banyuma yo kutunga independence okuruga ahihanga eri abungereza. So bagira constitution kityo kyazo muri Europe kirukutandikira mu ihangeri ya Faransa. So constitution never amended, it is meant to be amended. So today hakabaho 14th amendment ebiro 28 by'okwezi okwa mushanju omwaka 1867 hakaba kwa amendingamu. I'm going to tell you what they were amending. Following its ratification by the necessary 3/4 of U.S. states, the 14th Amendment granting citizenship to all persons born or naturalized in the USA, including formerly enslaved people, izoba nkeri bakakora amendment y'omurundo gwa 14 ebiro 28 by'okwezi kwa mushanju omwaka 1867 okugrantinga abantu bona bakutura mu ihangiri ya America bazarirwemu bona ngo betwe abaturage ningashi citizens aba America omuri abo hakarimo ababandize kuba enslaved ababire bari omu slavery ababe bari abahuku so ekiragiro kyatekwaho ngo abantu bona bikirizibwe ngo n'abaturage ba America. Bakaji adopting izo bankeri kandi Secretary of State by then bakamba mweta William Seward aka proclaiming the satisfying amendment ngu amendment eje base kuba nekorwa ya satisfying cyabasa kuba nikikorwa. So abira guju abachina abaharabu abayudaya abazungu ba Europe bona babe bari muri America katogo buri omuntu yayikirizibwa ngo ayetwe citizen wensi jo ya United States of America. Ebyafaye bindi izoba nkere birabu na mnana byo kwa mushanjuru kumurwenda nshanju na mukaga 1976 one of the worst earthquakes in modern history destroys Chinese city. Rembo omwihangiri ya China orwatirwe omusisa msagwamanu mbironke bya modern history ombuirobu. So eshazi kaziri mwenda neda chikana ni ibiti zaka sheshe an earthquake measuring between 7.8 and 8.2 magnitude on the Richter scale flattens Tingshan Rembo rubarkweta Tingshan kutandi cherari industrial city Rembo kutandi industrial city square omuri Tingshan omuri China Rembo rwaberujire abantu abarkwingana 1 million bona Rembo rukejumeka. Almost everyone was asleep in their beds kokuna gambira ngo zikazira shamwe ndaneda chika anani ibiriza kasheshe almost abantu bingi bakaba byamere kandi instead of outside in a relative safety of the streets the earthquake was especially costly in terms of human life chigambwa ngo estimatedly abantu emitwara 242,000 people on Tingshan and surrounding areas were killed. Akaterwe bitakata kenju zabagwira wakoza kwiruka kwikaru tindo na rweru ragara abantu bakaferwa magara gabo bambe mtayo wanjari chizigani ibiri katonyuzu mwenda Light FM. Ebyafaye bindi rukumurwenda 32 ebirabu na mnana ebyokwezi kwa mshanju bonus marchers evicted by the US Army hakubaho Great Depression rukumurwenda 32 abakumanyaje European history rukumurwenda 3 okutandika rukumurwenda na 30 aho kwiza kutaho mu World War II za rukumurwenda 80 something hakabaho what we call Great Depression omunsiona Great Depression age ekaruga omurutaru orwa World War 1 obahabira hariho ebizibe byarujiro mu rutaro runka influenza enjara abantu okufa human life abantu bakaba chendiro myanye tari yemwe so akabaho Great Depression a cent of course cases kariro mu rutaro ebintu bichwecherire property was destroyed. So hakabaho depression yaman omunsiona especially Europe na America. So during the depression President by then wabana ibembera America bakamba mweta Herbert Hoover aka orderinga US Army under General Douglas MacArthur abase ku evictinga forcefully abantu ababemba turo bonus marchers from the national's capital abantu abo ngo babingeyo. So 2 months before the so-called bonus expeditionary force a group of 1,000 World War I veterans seeking cash payments for their veteran bonuses certificates bakaba herize kwikomo Rembo Washington DC barukwendo kurihirirwa abantu babo ababire barba veteran mu rutaroro. Ebyafa ebinde birabu na mnana ebyokwezi nkokwenyino kwa mshanjuru kumurwenda 65 wabira president wa America obabembeta Johnson London B. President Johnson announces more troops to Vietnam. Kargoyara Njira Ajati, ladies and gentlemen, America would wish to send more troops in Vietnam. President Lyndon B. Johnson announces that he was ordered an increase US military forces in Vietnam from the president ababe bari bakabari emtwaro mushanju n'enkumitano yongere yo bingane emtwari 12 so Johnson said that he would order additional increase of the necessary if necessary kuchabi chiri kishemerire kuba nikiba ninga kiri necessary asendekeyo aganda mahega gendo mission no kwera omukunyweza ebyo kwerinda mu ihanga lya Vietnam. Remember ngo America karwana rutarwa Vietnam mu myaka ya 1995 arwijarwa mu myaka ya 1996 ho turukutaho mu nshanju. Ebyafaye bindi izoba nkere birabu na mnana byo kwa mshanju hakabaho birthday yo mwa abantu bamano muri USA. Future First Lady Jacqueline Boover Kennedy is born. Mcharo go akari mchara wa President John F. Kennedy on July 28th, 1929. President John F. Kennedy's wife Jacqueline Boover Kennedy is born into prominent New York family. So if at all you are celebrating your birthday, you are celebrating it with this once a strong lady. Ayabiriho mchara w'umwebembezi wa America. Ebyafaye bindi ndukwire rukuhendera ebiru 10 ebirabiri na munana byo kwezi kwa mshanjuru 1985. Enyonyi yekinyamahe ya America ekarugo omwiguru ekarugo kwa higuru sky ya guturechigo yatomere byombeko. United States military plane crashes into Empire State Building on 28th July 1945 killing 14 people kandi nabandi bakagendo mission na okutara na nebintu byone bimwe byazingwa kare nibyo byafaye byerizoba.
Your imaging is about to change forever.
Get inspired by what happened in the past on this date. History will help you to tell the present and the future. Know what happened on this day in the Light Focus program.
Introducing. Now, where do you get as many options as that?
With Abutuli, the man of all seasons.
With Abutuli, the man of all seasons.
Here's an example. Here's the full mix.
102.9 Light FM.
Okay, ntugendo mission ebyafaye byahendera ntugendo mission amakuru okurwa munsi yono lyarigana ibiri katonyeza mwenda Light Farmer the voice of hope turi aho mu Rurembo rwa Kasese cyombeke kibaru kweta Kasese Better Living Center kandi nibanyeta Abutili ye man of all seasons kwine ni wonyine paka shay 10 kandi nyenda kuramsya batayi bitu abakutureba YouTube comments nzija kubanizija mpora I'll be reading some of them in a minute. Konkanye ngaruka Christian camp meeting is on up to Saturday, so don't miss any bit of it. Abagambe baman barwaho kuba bakusye kigambo kya mukama. Last night last night I learned something if I can share with you. Now I had known that I have read all the prophets who prophesied about the coming of Jesus Christ. Little did I know nti hine ondijo wakubasa kubali nka prophet untaramanyire obabembeta Jacobo pastor inspired me, pastor Ashomisaka Antukaman, pastor Daniel Mate. I had not dug deeper ntakamanyireje kurungi nti na Jacobo akaragura kuzarwa kwa Yesu Kristo kurabiro mu mutabani wakamweta Shiro the prince of peace arkuragura ahari Jesus Christ. So okushoma learning is forever okushoma tukwayo sometime wanjawre chize make sure ngu wabasa kugendo mission no kushoma camp meeting scientific ara hari ganibiri katonyuzo mwenda Light Farmer. It is a golden chance actually. It is not in every region of the country or in the world. Abantu bingi this year actually from last year and this year tubashomere camp meeting abo kubabe bamanyirire byo kuzacaci bakakampingayo ati ibi bya scientific abamwe tibine ma radio abandi tibine ma TV abandi tubakubasa internet. So it is a golden chance for you okurebeka ngwiwa hori. You can at least listen to Light FM and get educated and get preached at na no kuchibwaho obutumwa kurugara mukama ruhanga. So chance nkejo otajishisha gikozese nko kucishemerire kare reka tugumize munebya nanamakuru omwihangeri ya Uganda twatandikira omwebembezi w'ihanga Western Yoweri Kaguta Museveni receives credentials of new Chinese ambassador kandi hamwe na UN resident coordinator President Museveni yatunga credential nekimanyisa ngebiwa kubasa kwita ebitambuliso ebisanyizo qualifications na nebindi ebikutambura akagambo credential kakakaba popular mbwire bwo bururu yamakabuza bitiwe ne credentials chikuza kutugambira ebi credential kimanyisa ebintu ebirukwikirizisa okora omurimo ninga to aspire for something. So a new ambassador omusya kuruga mu ihangiri ya China omu ihangiri ya Uganda ne bamweta Jiang Lijiong yabasa kureta credentials ze mtayi wanje ulichize the newly accredited Chinese ambassador to Uganda Jiang Lijiong and the new UN United Nations resident coordinator in Uganda Susan Ngogi Namondo have presented their credentials to President Yoweri Museveni. Jukengu it is mandatory ambassador msi wihanga lyona harukutwarwa nabanza ya presenting credentials ze derayikirizibwa zishwijumwa then chimanyisibwa ngu ogwakire koro murumogu and there is a possibility of bouncing you back in case credentials zawe zani lacking. So function ebireho ahari State House Entebbe ahizoberi ya yesterday Tuesday ba envoy zaba omutumwa w'ekibine ky'amahanga geteri no mu Uganda ubarukweta Susan Ngogi Namonda ogunaija kuzombejere bya Malanga obira rwaha kandi ahendire tamye ya agenda then UN ya send condition then ondijo barukweta His Excellency Jiang Lijiong guna ambassador msi wihangiri ya China na we aizira ho muhangiri ya Uganda. So President Museveni ayirize kushijuma credentials zabo ayazibahereza kandi omucharo go barukweta Susan Ngogi Namondo nenzaro yihangiri ya Cameroon. Last month he was appointed by the United Nations Secretary General barukweta Antonio Guterres as the new UN resident coordinator in Uganda okureplacing omucharo na nagambire Rosa Marango tamuye ekaba expired. So na ambassador wa China na we yabasa kuba na ikirizibwa nebisha kugenda mission no kora emirimo yabo. Remember ngu abantu abo let's say ambassador na representing ihangariye kunu yo mu ihangerinde ahakuba na atura nebaheta embassy ahakuba ile office ze embassy aho na hatari Uganda compound ya embassy jo nebiri China. It is like a China ni hangiri ya China konkeryo muri Uganda kuba na atura so nebiri China actually hajira nkecha abaho angu police rione kurunda okiruko kataragaze okatungo mugishoka shanga maybe gate igwire o you sneaking waishango ryo mundu omwe Ugandan police te kukwata nabatekwa kushaba China ngwe kuhanding over no wata ho munsendijo and so does in other countries na embassy ya Uganda ryo muri America na you ahaha kuberi compound yayo neberi Uganda but in America. So that is it. Kandi Uganda gunaryo mtumwa wihanga erindi omwihangerindi so buri kimwe cyona ihangeri ryandi yenda kugire ekibakoro muri China embassy ya China muri Uganda nibanza bajimanyisa then ambassador wa China ha na ine kureba ngo habaho welfare ningo kubaho kurunjo kwa ba China bari muri Uganda batwazibwaje kandi babasakora emirimo yabo. Akari turuge yoko now minister webyo kwerinda barukweta Major General Jim Muhwezi the Minister for Security Major General Jim Muhwezi na jangu don't worry about Russian farmer awarded deal to fix spy chips in vehicles. Araba mwe ababiremba jangu company ya Russia yahirwa murumo okubasa korobwo mu kwija kubana butekwa mu mamotoka derubaga tracing aho na ahiye motoke ziraze araba bembore ko kutina ngwa company ejo ateine bisanyizo bikumara tekumara kubasa kubana ekoro murumogo najuka emyaka yinyimaho back in the day ariho biyizire karangira ekaja company jenyine karangira bankruptcy bakaba barangirire mutibine na 10 tibine sente so charetera abantu abamukuteka hakabuza company nkeji yabe yayirangirire ngutine na sente yo government nejesigeta okujiherezo mu rumogo ogokora obwo mabok tracking amamotoka omuri Uganda So minister Julia Jangwa, don't you worry, mureke kutina kampani ejo neija kubasa. So the Ugandan government last week signed a 10-year agreement with joint stock company Global Security farm kurugomu ihangiri ya Russia that will see the late install tracking devices in all public and private vehicles amwena na mapichi okwetolori ihangari yona ekinchikorwa na nekigenderero ekyo kwenda kuzibira obukozi bw'ebihagaro omu ihanga erya Uganda. Ahari yabo abakugezaho okutabura obusinge na nokutera abantu amasasi bakosa za pichina na mamotoka kugira ngu hagire yakikora babase kugitrackinga. Okay, omakura gandi government to procure 116 ambulances to support regional facilities. Government nejagura ambulance gani 16 kubasa kuhagera regional health facilities. Ambulance nizemotoka ziri kutwara abakuba barwire barukubi. So Ministry of Health kurabiro minister wayo General Luther Cheng aizobiriya yesterday Tuesday nekwarjire yaka confirming government eri Montebe kansezo gura ambulance eziri kwingana igani 16 kubasa kuiraho omukuru yamba amarwara gorurengo rwa region. Amarwara ga region ni mache, amarwara ga regional referrals ni mache aha omu Western Uganda actually. Tulikire kuba twina hamarwara abiri, that is Buhinga Hospital and Mbarara Regional Referral Hospital. Then nanaganda makuru mache haronki tojo side za Ntungamo ari hirware rukureri yakabare harho hirware rindi ari hirware rindi Hoima namarwaro mache agari ya rurengoro orwa regional referral. Yes, nagandi ngabasa kuba ngakora emyoga nke ya ga referral but they are not regional referral. Nagagataka kira kitini secho. Kare ambulance abamwe abebyo butegechi ba MP barigireyo abamwe okugezaho gura za ambulances konka wagezeho kuchebera ebisheme kuba biriyo muri ambulance ebimwe no shangangu some people nabagura emotoka agura vani bagitamwa katanda. Yes, aiba kubasa kubyamiso murwire konke bindi nebiburamu. Ambulance yenyine ya standard ine bintu byinje bikucheraho sheme kuba ine fire extinguisher, sheme kuba ine oxygen cylinders, eshemerire kuba erimu first aid kits, sheme kuba erimu bintu byinji mnonga. But when you try to check around our ambulances here we just nabagura motoka na van kunaga momo bakuvuga ogenda bwemba bazaruhanga bashanga bakusya bakutwaro kira. But ambulance yo yenyine sheme kubera inkirwaro sheme kubano gitamburira muri ya drip ninga bakutira oxygen okusya hirwara hibakutwara. So hold your leader accountable na mnonga abakupoliticizing za ambulance. MP witu nananka katugura ambulance lero bambe kuchukika batakuzimanya ombyaruku just yo yarebe kigambo cyandikiraho ambulance na nahiguru nibamanyaku kwetesa yobutara. Mwe mujaguzangu mwina ambulance kumbe. So nikwebiri bityo now government neija kuba negura ambulance igani 16. Let us watch the space obumwena yo nekira kubigamba nke bikuboneza amakuru tuchomaho abantu bona bijura masko kandi tubahura the voice of hope. But when you try to check after 2 years 3 years what's on the ground, zero. So let us pray obunde kahike tuyambeho na nomriyo bobwire obwa COVID-19. Kare away from that, HBNH Democratic Party chabire government to come up with the well structured plan of easing lockdown. HBNH mwari yebye kuchira yobukuru mu ihangeri ya Uganda Democratic Party chirugireyo cyashaba government ngo irugeyo eyoreke entebe kanse yine omukuru bya ningashi omukuru bya mu lockdown eyebiro ananabire. Remember ngu ebiro birihikwayo ebya lockdown actually nibihwayo Friday this week. It's going to be 30th washa nyencha kare. So bandi nibebuza government ekalokinga ahabwa COVID-19 ebirana na bibiri byaza kwayo teka rugireyo kushoza reporter obane ija kurubyamu neija kwiha lockdown ejihiro kimwe neija kora partial open up neija kuongerayo abantu baryaho buri omwe are skeptical baryaho tubakumanya what will happen next. But I think it is too early to demand It is too early to demand. Abokuba yes, it is chikaba chobulyo government okurugayo ebirana na bibere byatiro bitakahwireyo ekija kandi kajangu. We are saying this and that, but DP is tasking it to come up with a well structured plan of easing lockdown. Abokuba ebiro bya agenda ne bihwayo kandi mtayo njawre chize President Yoweri Museveni if everything goes on well naija kuba nagamba wahiyangeri ya Uganda hizoberi ya Saturday so emberan kwemerire etyo kare katuruge yoko makura gando muhangeri ya Uganda. Cabinet orders cancellation of land titles acquired in wetlands. Government naija kushazamu ebaruha abine ebyapa byamataka aba basize kumbe kombisharra abayombekero muri za wetland ebyapa hati government byona yaneja kuba nebishazamu abayombekere ombishara. So the Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development Judith Nabakoba said her ministry is in the process of cancelling titles of land acquired in reserve areas nka wetlands na nendije myanya eyebitogo. So kore no mango yombekere ombisharara okimanye ngoryo beno oryano rurya shayo nan babasa kushohoza. So yeah, this is true. When you try to check around abantu bingi bombekero mbisharara babyomya wari bankambaraho kitamuna makanisa bakitamuna namashomero bachombeka munamaju. Then ruga yoko wa checking side za Fort Portal wa checking side zo mu Kisenyi if yishemero ya Kabarore is it Kabarore hillside? I think no, Kabarore is secondary. How ichara chona bakachumya bateka mwebindi nendijo myanya na nibyaro nayo bakajurumba kare. So ebyapa nibija kubishazamu kandi nchigambwa ngu omwaka gwa 2018 akachiko akakuburiza nshonga za mataka kakachanga ngwe byapa birukwingana 562 bikabihirwe abantu ababire bari omu wetland kudo omyanya nkachina wataka na namamve na Kampala naho chikakwatakare ahasina higuru ebisharara bakabyumya said za nsambyuko kuri yife aiba kweto mu kidongo waza side waza side za bwaise okweyuna ebitogo bakabyomya bayombeka yamaju. So nikwe biri bityo government abamwe neja kurara yabafumura amakuru agande faster go muri Uganda. Professor Ogwanga defends self in COVID-19 case. Professor Patrick Ogwanga ogwabire ruranganwa nirajangu nuwo mshija ari nyuma yokora ko mbazo gwa COVID-19 habo drug rigambwa kuba neba supportive treatment for the deadly COVID-19. Twira hababirwe mshango nyamwinji bamwe bakamhababira bamja bakujangu akakozesa sente za government okoro mbazogo kandi hatabwa kinaguguza because he was in a public university, Mbarara University of Science and Technology. So that means ngwaka ko sente za government. So ebintu ebikorwa government nebyabusha abwakina abiguza abandi bamhababira ngu ahabwachi arujireyo akabache hagura akajango mbaza kozire wenka we center zihirehi kandi yabirari hansi ya university eyambara. So arjire ya defendinga ebibyona yagira ngo nebishuba kandi afairingire defense afairuye yesterday on court ari kujango abobona bamusiga hama tugembuzi kwenda kumuri sengwe. So emberan kweri yetyo ebikuchira haho makuru gitwa go mwabazi yoshahemwe twina makuru mu rukonjo tabasa kuba no ferwa makuru ago ija kuba no hurra details eza makuru agaguna kwaho highlights kandi obundi na naganda makuru aho mu ihanga area Uganda. Okay, it's just 56 minutes after 2 p.m. I'm going to take a short break here, and when I return we'll start with Tanzania. Tujja kutandikira ho muri East African Community tandikira mu ihangiri ya Tanzania oku nabo hati no shoti enshongezo burwire obwa COVID-19 bahinduira harurimi Tanzania bahinduira amigambire okubabire mbagambo burwire bukizire hati twe bagamba bahinduira mbigambo. I'll be telling you how are they now handling the pandemic. It's Light Focus program still on up to 4 p.m. Don't go away.
Light Focus program.
Noenda kujanjaza eshuro yawe ngoyike n'omundisho myanya noenda kushyikiriza abakasitoma bengi ranga neitwe obike sente ogire n'obwire kandi oshemererwe omuguhereza bulungi ariganirira ikatonyezo mwenda Light FM ebisharo byaitu nibibasibwa buli omwe Light FM mutahi wawe omu by'obushubuzi dukore ni byiza mu mbaraga twaha
Nje omwami mufurumagazeri omundembete w'ekitongole kiwini and Children Foundation lawete obwawe bw'ekulya omulenge ono okubanga bakasese municipality kasese district tutuyirende akahuka akikorona ngasaba tumenye ngokunira okwamirwa oba buli mundu erirwanisa akahuka kano omukola bene eryambala emasi ahali abandu babiri erirorya embere erinaba ebyala nesabuni emirundi minene eriyirinda erighenda ahali abandu banene eriyirinda erihambahamba omumeso omunyindo nomubunu itwe bosi tukinawete omuwaso kandi neshyafamili syetu sikinatuyithaga Malazeri mumbembete w'ekitongole kya Women and Children Foundation.
Omumbembete obwekatibwa high school bwamaminyisya ababuti ng'obana musaka ng'abana ebesiniyo kubanza erikiremo kwa yakane okutendekera kuwabo abana enyumuza ky'omusanjo mwase mwisekangiseye okwakatibwa high school habwa kisomo ekiri kwa mutindo etendekero lino luti abatendeki abasomera karakari bantu bakasomesaya ama arts na masayansi bauti library mbuya laboratory eyowenenga bawuti na enable center number asawisekangiseye bamanzere mnyebi njoko berekera head teacher okwazira omusanjo 05 asadoni chenane makuru yabere uti deputy head teacher okwazira omusanjo mwenda 17 03 asatuna
Speciosa emenoke kwa maternizia yupura nichi.
Munaikiro kwa radio bamansoborere. Radio yere FM kwanzi ikaita kasante kanene. Amasanyerezi yakakwa. Ebi mwebeka kwa menyungutira masanyerezi nabatami. Nebendobina nebekaita isiba wa. Neri bwabusana no mwezi oyu. Na ngabiri tuam obuli sariti. Ngibyanga wana hachere betano. Kote rugume. Na mabana no mutfolu. Inga kwa meteka kwa mutfolu. Kuri birasu di mutfolu ngui. Endo kureiti fuam.
Neri bwabande bandu bwebo kwa bahamengechi kalinga yoyi wabereke ngande kiyawe.
Abakurishitayo abakende endarobula erereryo ekisambo ekiredio nekyomukubiketu watija kundibwa yikatulengulu engulu yiko kwabande bandu eyewutihika omwabeharo okwabetwa nomwamesha nasyangetse eredio yikasoka panaulangire siyiwuti nabesandru siyiwuti namawulu paka yikatatana yeike kati wawe akasente kaikanu namasaya nerekali ngengakombomberi omulisya inasanyitwalera kwe kasase kandi paka mulisi nakemberi siti paka nganoshi
neru eredio ya mahuna ukoyo wawuti
na ingahuna enetiwaki yabula iya kutukala kutuli
ni nyawe Reverend Mwesigwa Samson Newton Amoti Director witendekero Ebeneza Nursery and Primary School Kogere insima Ruhanga aba bana baitu abicyo musanju abasoboyire gukora kurungi ninterera abana hamwe n'abazaire ningonza kusaba okwetantara oburwaire buno obwa COVID-19 nokuteka mu nkora ebyaturagirwe Ministry ya Health
inga wasinga Director erituhamaha Ebeneza Nursery and Primary School ekogere nitendekero erikosomesa yandeke abasomesa betendekero ndeke abana eloma nursery eriko mucho musanju ibwa bana bikana cyo musanju makuwa labire sibaka nakola ndeke bizamu PLE division yo kubanza bana batano eyakabere bani 11
niye cyo mugusabeti musima Ruhanga owasobesezo mwanange kore cya musanju shaka Ismail akaja na grade yo kubanza ayiremo 12
ninje bakanya Apollo tatomwa na yamuseti mauriri rasima gusebo omwana wa yarezaba rukinga somo grade yo kubanza makarara bana sha aggregates ikumi
nsaba abazaire mwe mureka abana Ebeneza Children Center obutendeko buliyo burungi muno
eriminye byo kwebi sangana Ebeneza Nursery and Primary School ekigore eyakabere Rukoki Ward Nyamamba Division Kasema Municipality okombalo aikande kabarole hakuhina bakwanye Coffee Factory wotse wangana berekera oko 0 musanju ibiri atana mwenda ani na mukawa 0 in na 0 musanju 0 nguma atana mwenda ani na mukawa 0 in.
Your local time check.
It is exactly 3 p.m. Time check is brought to you by
102.9 Light FM.
Light Focus.
People who are suffering in villages. This presidency is going to toe the line of the FDC, and for us, we have zero tolerance to corruption.
Light Focus.
Against. In this election, gentlemen and ladies, I am representing the hardworking people of Usoga that have been deliberately kept poor by the NRM.
Light Focus.
I, Katumba, am going to fight as much as possible to make sure that we have zero corruption in Uganda.
Light Focus.
And we are just beginning to chart America.
Light Focus.
So the strategy of good ideology where people get united, a strong army which is also ideological.
Light Focus program.
Alright, Light Focus program rekegumuzemu edachika nibiro mursha mwenda zihangwe kandi olunanye abutiliye man of all seasons aliga nibiri katonyuzo mwenda Light Farmer kandi ntuje kutandika na ihanga eri Tanzania turukutandika makuru gitu agaheru yihanga eri Uganda.
Uibariki Afrika, wabariki viongozi wake, hekima, umoja na amani. Hizi ni ngao zetu Afrika na watu wake. Ibariki Afrika, ibariki Afrika, tubariki watoto wa Afrika. Mungu ibariki Tanzania, dumisha uhuru na umoja wake kwa waume na watoto. Mungu ibariki Tanzania na watu wake. Ibariki Tanzania, ibariki Tanzania, tubariki watoto wa Tanzania.
Buterev ejon Tanzania mtaiwanja ulichize ihangiri ya Tanzania ndishangwa omuri East Africa nirihangiri kuchira y'obuhangu omuri East Africa kandi niriyebemberwa President Samia Suluhu Hassan orurembo rukuru Dar es Salaam ihangiri ya Tanzania mtaiwanja ulichize nabo kutandika vaccination izobiri ya hati Wednesday Tanzania to begin COVID-19 vaccination drive this Wednesday. Ihangiri ya Tanzania ryo nerukora makuru omuku vaccinatinga ganda mahanga tugakora makuru why abo kuba Tanzania babase kuhindura omikore nabo ihangari yo kubanziri yarugireyo ebyo kusireka obwire bwa COVID-19 bakabirebese sheshemi bakandi babireba nk'ebintu byo kushisha obwire kandi na nokurwanisa obwire obu bo bakabine another way of handling the pandemic whereby they started by despising COVID-19 SOPs nko kujwara maski hamwe na okusirika obwire obuninga vaccination buri obabe bakiri ahansi yo mwebembezi John Pombe Magufuli. So Health Ministry said it will begin a mass vaccination drive on Wednesday kandi ekyabasa kurvasinga the policies of the country's late COVID-19 skeptic leader obabembeta John Pombe Magufuli we nomwe ahabebembezi bache abenseji ababandize kurabya mwamisho ebya SOPs nko kujwara maski hamwe na okusirika obwire bwa COVID-19. Instead this man insisted that the disease could be fended off by the healing power of prayer. we John Pombe Magufuli akafana ichirizo man gokushaba kurwanisa COVID-19 konka bitari ebyokuteekaho maski ningashi okuvaccinatinga ekyokubanza akajangu vaccination ezi abajungu hine ebinde bakwenda kurabizamu okumaraho race y'Abafrika okwenda kumaraho abantu ba Africa ekyo kikakiri kimwe then yajangu ebyokujwara maski na SOPs kunabo mu ngaro na lockdown we almost akafata kajitahoga so hati orurimo ruhindukire it's no longer the same language kuri mu ihanga eri ya Tanzania bahindwire bwanyuma y'omwebembezi omukyara Samia Suluhu Hassan okwijombo ebembezi kandi arugireyo ya ichiriza defeat ya ichiriza ya considinga ngu obulwire bwa COVID-19 nabo bubine kandi bubafukamize ahamaju. So Samia Suluhu Hassan says the country is battling a third wave of COVID-19 infections and has told Tanzanians to follow the health guidelines to curb the spread of the virus. Kandi omukyaro gwa bigambire abira omuntu wokubanza okuterwa kakatu akakusirika obulwire bwa COVID-19. Hassan niwabandize kutunga jab mu Rembo Dar es Salaam kandi atyo Health Minister Dorothy Gwanjima nawe yabasa kwongeraho kandi batandikiraho omukoro ogwokusirika obulwire bwa coronavirus kuri muri Tanzania. Remember ngu bo bakatunga omubazo gwa kweta Johnson & Johnson kandi this one is a single shot bakutera kakatu kamwe unlike okubareseraho muri Uganda gwa kweta AstraZeneca vaccine aiba kutera obukatu bibiri after a period of time bahirize kutera kamwe. So the East African country received over 1 million doses of at the weekend from the COVAX, the global initiative to ensure low income countries receive jabs. Kandi Taiwan jawrichize ekyo kyabasa kuretaho okuhindura mikorre buhabye omwebembezi John Pombe Magufuli owihanga eri ya Tanzania. So embeera nekweyimirira etyo kuri omuri Tanzania kandi hati orutaro ruriyo n'urwo kusirika abo bantu ababe bahirize already kutakinga ideology ey'omwebembezi John Pombe Magufuli arikubagira ngu ihanga rather Abafrika abajungu nibenda kubamaraho barukubitera omumbaze ejo erukusereka obulwire bwa COVID-19. So ihangeri eri ya Tanzania a country of 58 million people is among the three nations in the continent yet to begin inculcating its citizens along the Eritrea and Burundi. Amahanga nka Burundi na Eritrea na Tanzania nugo mahanga agatwire enshonga zo kusereka COVID-19 bagakwa enshongezo bazikwasire mpora ya enshongezo batwire bazikwasire mpora kandi noshikangu Tanzania hansi y'obwebembezi bwa John Pombe Magufuli ebire byabandize bakabanza baranga abarwire ba COVID-19 kubakizo bwire babireka abakwasirwe abafire abakizire bona babireka. So hati nibwe bagarukire kandi bakahindura mikorre bakatandika no kupublicizing ekikugendo misho kandi omukyaro barukweta Gwanjima ogunomo abakozi ba Ministry of Health arjeya jangu she said also that 29 people have died abantu 28 bafiro mushabiri ninezitira mabega kuri muhanga eri ya Tanzania. Ombwire bw'omwebembezi John Pombe Magufuli bakaba herukire kuranga barwire ba COVID-19 bitano na mwenda na nabafiri 16 konka kuruganubu hakata garukaga kurangwa kusyo byafire kandi emikorre ekahinduka eyo kurwanisa obulwire obwa COVID-19 kuri ya omuri Tanzania. Twaruga yuko omakura gandi ekibine ky'amahanga geterine ekibarukweta United Nations kirugireyo cyasaba ngo habe kwigura amashomero aho naho. UN calls for COVID closed schools to reopen. Amashomero agangagaruke gigurwe cyarenga no bikirabe kiringo obulwire bwa COVID-19 buruho konka abana bakonkomaro mbyaro baba bokushishikara abandi baba bokushwerwa abandi baba bokuza kore sente bakiri bato abandi bayiho amasko bakore bitakoreka ahabwa amashomero okucingwa ahabwe by'obulwire bwa COVID-19. So UN young schools closed due to coronavirus pandemic must reopen as soon as possible. UN insisting yesterday Tuesday estimating education of more than 600 million children was at stake. Gwebyo kushoma kwa bana barukwingana obukikuru rukaga 600 million children okushoma kwabo kuri yo balance. Yeah. So UN nejangwa wadenturwanisa COVID-19 konka abana bashemerire bigururwa amashomero gabo. UN erukurabira mu kitongole cyayo ekikujunanizibwa n'ebyabana ekya UN Children's Fund ningashi kya UNICEF. Ori spokesperson wacho barukweta James Elder abira ryo mu Rembo Geneva yabasa kuhereza yo ebigambo ebyo arukushaba governments I think ne ya Uganda gitwari Romo okuba amashomero gaha nago gakinjire. Governments have to make binekora cyone kikubasika. They have to do everything possible kureka ngo bigura amashomero kandi bagezeho okurebeka ngo still amashomero no bwayigure tabamo okurujanjara ko burwire obwa COVID-19. So na jang schools should be at last to close and the first to reopen. Abana babasegaruka amashomero abokuba ebyokushoma kwabo no shoti byagenda nebizamu omurabanamu. So imbera nkwemerire etyo kwetorora ensi yona mutayi wanje urikize nikigambwa ngo according to the across the region Asia Africa schools are being closed due to COVID-19. Abana bari kuhingura obukadde ningo bukikuru 32 bona they've been left out due to pandemic related closure, having failed to return after their classrooms reopen. So embera nkweri yetyo abana nibinji abariyo mumaka abwe byoburwire obwa COVID-19 na nokuchinga ako ahibashemerire kuba nebashomera nekwebiri bityo mutayi wanje urukiziga nibiri katonyeza mwenda Light Farmer program Light Focus amakuru okurugwa munsi yona ariga nibiri katonyeza mwenda Light Farmer. Okay, right about now tujagumzamu turuge yuko makuru agekibine ekyamahanga geterine kandi eshaheje ntuje kubantu orecherera omwihanga erya Malawi ejene program Light Focus ntuje kubantu rugo ko omwihanga erya Malawi tugumizemo na makuru aganda otarugaho
Light Focus program.
Bless our leader, each and every one, our motherland Malawi. Ihangiri ya Malawi mutayi wanje urikize nariyo ndishangwa Homer Africa kandi ihanga eri ya Malawi nerumwe aha mahanga agatari mahango amache in size konka gine sound gine base ningashigamwa amahanga agakuhebwe kitenesa aha kirwa echa Africa. Awabire mwebezi wihanga eri ya Malawi ayanjire kurebeka ho mukachiko akakuburiza bikwatirene n'oburubwenguzi. Omwebembezi owayibembere yihangiri ya Malawi obabembeta Peter Mathorika says Malawi's anti-corruption body wants to humiliate him. Najangwa akakiiko akakuburiza bulubwenguzi nikenda kunshwaza. Ex-president refuses to face tax flood questioning. President Peter Mutharika says Malawi anti-corruption body wants to humiliate and taunt him. Najangwa aba nibenda kunshwaza no kumbona abonesa. Peter Mutharika najangwa akakiiko aka tikari mu buryo burungi obw'okumuburiza ebibuzo bikwatirine oyiro nibenda kumujweka busha kumushwaza kwonka. Malawi's former president Peter Mutharika has refused to allow the National Anti-Corruption Body to question him about allegations of tax fraud. Nekigambwa ngu hine nkoku yakozise kubi esente z'omuhiwa omushoro omwihanga eryo erya Malawi. So najati nyo tinkuza kurebeka yuko mwe mjenderire kunshwaza no kumbuze bitakwatirine. Ajuke ngu ihangeri inde lya South Africa omwebembezi oyabimbire ihangeri ya South Africa obalkweta Jacob Zuma ahinde gambira lyo muchome mishango nkejo ekwatirine na nebyo burubwenguzi kandi aliyo na serving ekibonizo ekifubiro ekyokukomwa emyezi 15 bwo kugoma aketwa ngwaje yanjuro mukakiiko nkaka aka anti-corruption abuzibwe abkwatire n'oburubwenguzi yayanga kuzayo. And court was left with no option but to send him an arrest warrant kandi bamucharginga okomwa emyezi 15. Actually we bakamshaba ngwaye tuwaro muchome which he did. Nobichera bechiringu chikarugwamu abantu okwesharinga omuri South Africa batandika kurutinga nebinde byakurasireo. So this is what we are likely to see omwihangiri ya Malawi bwanyuma yo abiri omwembezi wihangiri Peter Mutharika okwanga kuzomukachika ko kubuzibwa. Malawi's former president Peter Mutharika has refused to allow the National Anti-Corruption Body to question him about the allegations of tax fraud. Under Malawian law, as yebrajire bihanga area Malawi, presidents are entitled to import goods without paying tax. But eyebrows were raised when akabaho okwimsebsiji porampora himuke pumpu omwihangiri ya Malawi bwanyuma yesente zirkwingana obukikuru mukaga n'obuchweka mukage za dola. Sente zo zikagura siminti. It was purchased tax-free in 2019 using President Mutharika's exemption code. Nomanya abebembezi bihanga bine code eyibarukozesa bana bagura ninga bakora transaction yona. So haruho ebintu ebimwe bikuba exempted okuraba ahamyatano y'amahanga okutaho muganda mahanga ningo mwihangiri lyenyine omwebembezi wihanga yaichiriza kozesa code ye. Ebintu byakankaho ari mpondwe rubira hano biruga Kongo nibije muri Uganda ari ebintu ebimwe ebitari kwikirizibwa no kwemerezebwa kubuzibwa kanana katano ngo nibiruga hini biha katuchebere no as long as hari code yo mwebembezi wihanga ayikirize nuraba jangwe ebine bya his excellence code yo mwebembezi wihanga yeruho. So that is what happened. Nchigambwa ngu ebintu byabire nebibarirwamu actually jeker cement erikubarirwamu obukikuru mukaga n'obuchweka mukaga bwa dola ya America bikaritwa omwihangiri ya Malawi kandi biri tax free bitashemeye kubane bishashuzi bwa omushoro mwaka gwa 2019 kandi ubu bikabiri ebyo ndijo muntu we president akakosa obushoborozi bwe okubyikiriza okutahamu tibyashashura mushoro and yet bikabishemirire kubane bishashura. So it later transpired that some IDs of former president were using the president's tax exemption code to import goods. Harabantu abamwe ababemba kosaka manyisoko mwembezi wihanga okutasi ebintu omundu mwihanga area Malawi barukozesa code exemption code eyo mwembezi wihanga. So the latest statement from the Anti-Corruption Bureau akachika ko barukweta ACB nebaketa Anti-Corruption Bureau omwihangerio nikenda ku interviewinga former president nawe abashoborere president sebo former ijo tushoborere iwe no bimanya ochi code yabe nekosebwa ni wagikiriza abantu abo ngo bagikozese ninga bakagikwibaho. Come here tushoborere kubareba akorise forgery for you, your hands are clean kandi kore wojibahire amshana gukwachire. So nibenda ku interviewing a former president but he released his own statement saying he had a right to remain silent. Arjiriya jangwa yabakorra enfumu eriya ya arukunama takwefuuza asirika teyejjusa abamwe mbajjangu silence is gold abantu abawunami obumwe kigambwa ngu bubine gold barum they just keep quiet uzaaho gamba byingi yelelelele aguma nakureeba tukujangu n'ekiteta ninga tukujangu arwire omukanwa takubasa kugamba konka just ahunama so abamwe namurugayo mutandika kwefuuza mwenke ekinanagambe kyaki so ogo ahunamiwe takwefuuza silence is gold sirisete yejjusa so president former Mutharika wena jangwa nyino bugabe bwanje bwo guma mpunami I have a right to remain silent. So in a statement, Mr. Mutharika claimed that he had already been questioned by the police over the matter omukwezi kwa munano mwaka gwahwire and in it he also accuses the ACB of preemptively freezing his bank accounts as part of the sustained political witch hunt that is intended to humiliate and taunt him physiologically. Na jangu ekibiina ekikiri fair aharubajurwe ekibiina ekibarukweta Anti-Corruption Bureau omwihangirya Malawi kyo Justin Kyenda kumushwazana n'okumukwataho obusente bwe bakabufreezinga nk'obumwe okubabire babukozire so yayanga kurebekayo atireka tulinde turebe whether ebyabira ari munywanuwe owihangirya South Africa Jacob Zuma yaba nawe birije kubane bimushikiriraho itwe turwa okwereza amakurago kugarije kubanagaba mtahi wanja ulikize igani ibiri katonyeza mwenda light farmer edakika nabiri nishatu omurisha mwenda zihangwe program light focus mpaka shay 10 kando chirinanye abutili ya man of all seasons. Before we go any other further rekamba nze nshomari messages zanyu baherize kutusindikira message shahiji no basa kusindika ka message ari 0 mshanju 5 mshanju 2 mukaga mshanju kandi tubase kugenda misho nano kuganira utityo Corona kabu ekibuze cyo kubuza we will answer that ninga wuli necho kutensa kuombe kihangari ya Uganda we also welcome those bright ideas in there. Okay, the content kenoguna jangu Mr. Abuti, may the beauty of God's love touch your heart, our one and only world focus provider. Thanks for being lenient by making sure our messages are all read. May you be blessed. Kenyatta SS product Muhindo Bernard. Okay, weware mnonga Mr. Bernard. Oguna jangu Mr. Abut, what could you tell the head teachers that have started online registration for senior 1 students? Nibamwetachirango Wilfred from Rwesande. Well, I have no problem with that. Actually, of the recent Minister Karugoya jangwa bakuchikora mbachikora bwabo tikishemerire kuba nikikorwa konka tariyo ekiragiro omu constitution y'ihangiri ya Uganda ekirukuragira amashomero niryaro bwara handike abeji na mnonga aga private even na government konka I don't think kiri mustane ninga ni kibi abwo kuba amashomero ngabasa kuhandikisa abeji in strategy bariyo mu strategy yabo yo kwetebekanisiza reopening. Then reopening ya keti borede babe bahereze kumanya ngo senior 1 twine mwabeji 8 twine mwabeji 8 twine mwabishi kibati twine mwabojo bati for proper planning. I don't think chirmobuzibu but government rugire yakizibira yajangu babanze bareke kuhandika abo beji so embera nkweri yetyo I don't think chirmobuzibu but government ejirengu chikome kibe kirekire kubanchikorwa but ahandi tichikuringaniza tichikureyinga a universal ground tichikureyinga an equal level for all students because abakubasa kwehandikisa online abo nabache but then you can't tokunyigiriza abakubasa habwa batakubasa. Of course abeja bakwija kubane behandikisa online naba mashomero gaba giga za Rohani Primary School za St Mary's Rohani Secondary St Julian International amashomero nkambara high Ntare School maybe St Leo's Chegobe Chebambe amashomero agakwiba so already omuntu ari kubana affording kuhandikisa omwana we online nane binde bikwizira ari yecho nana bibasa then ababa kwenda kwehandikisa manually tware kapapura kawe ka results report nyezanje nzi nyire yo 8 nyire ya 2 nyire ya 25 mumpandike nabu they will do it on their ankoku barukwenda kuchikora ninga ankoku bako abokuba of course we've not been equal education system yaho mu ihangiri ya Uganda harimo abakubasa ebyabagiga harimo nabatakubasa so tichikwingana and nobuwa kujangu behandikise obwire bwenyine bwabwashire opening up kwabire ha mashomero bamwimbija kugumza mbachikore online abandi nibija kweshirayo manually ha mashomero kwehandikisa so that is it there. About let us not advocate for evils if COVID-19 persists. Let lockdown resume. Morocco Benoni Kitoma Buhuhira. Webare mnonga Mr. Benon, but do you mind about the sector, the business sector, economy? Have you thought about people who have not been working for 42 days really? Yesterday I was discussing with one of our staff here. Discussing umuntu ari muri Kampala. Abire na survivinga amurumo gukora buri izuba hati ebiro 82 ayino mucyara ayina bana katugambe at least bashatu bariyo muzigo takora how do these people survive really akuno up country no rebe mbereri nkeri hachiri but think about that person no muri Kampala na panjiso muzigo mazire biro 82 takora ayino mukazi ayina bana bona nibamureba the other day nkani ndeba bashijo muri Kampala bakujangu fete tusobora kubeera waka abakyala batulaba bubi abana n'abakyala batulaba bubi obeera otyawo nabo nga tewali kyakuliwo omukyala akulaba bubi akulabanga yegwe yaleeta corona so abantu barukubi mutayi wanja ulikize twena tutukwenda covid kandi na corona tutukwenda corona na lockdown tutukugenda konka nembeera mbi mtayi wanja ulikize radio. Urajangu hey update me about COVID-19 in Uganda, Spain and Italy. Mama Elvis. Oh, thank you so much Mama Elvis said Zarugenda bara. Now COVID-19 is rambeho. Ministry of Health yatakatire update yeri zoba abashanjirwemo corona yesterday abakwasirwe abafire abakizire konka all round figure abakwasirwe bona ne mtwaro mwenda ne 12 kandi abakizire bakiriyo mitwaro mukaga abafire ne 12 bibiri plus na haho figure kandi abaka basize ku bantu adding then nkakwera kimwe enamba yenyine accurate konka that is the picture kandi no kichengangu Uganda herze ku kora vaccination abantu bari kwingana kakikuru kamwe yes abamwe batungire 2 jabs abandi ni 1 jab then Uganda ne expecting kutandika vaccination okwezo kurukwijo kwa August abokuba hariye mbazi ya vaccine eriyo neija. Then Spain na Italy abo bakaliftinga lockdown bwanyuma yo vaccinating a number of good people a good number of people omahangago mask hatu muri Italy who it is voluntary waindo jujuare waindo jireke kandi na no muri Spain nicho chumwe though obwire buchiriyo konkane buche unajangwa I'm already in class with Maduka Businge and Rukara Godson. We are enjoying the camp meeting Muribondo Kasubi Michael in the United States of Nyanseke in Kiswamba Town Council kare wibare mnonga Agunajangu hello Abutiri, I'm in class on the front seat. MK Steven from Murambe Nombe sub county Toroko. God bless you. Happy camp meeting at all listeners. I like your program, sir. Keep it up. Kare mwebare mnonga aba sindika message right about now mwenyikirize ngaruke taking a short break then ngaruke na makura gandi plus reading some of your remaining messages in there gen program light focus chirwa hampaka shaha 10 zomwe abazigweri zoba. I'm going to take a short break and tugaruka nebindi byinji ekikuru otarugaho aha radio
light focus program.
Mid-hour time check. It's a 3:30 p.m.
It's brought to you by 102.9 Light FM.
onanzira letungera ebyali ebiwene ebiwutikirisya tibita ewe mama Rosette Mutundi omukatale akamawa asomerere nene haba sellers awite ebinyobwa ebiswere n'ebitaswere eposho eri kwa mutindo owahewu ebihimba haima nesoya ebiwene kutsibu awite masala eyerite ku mamboka n'omu muceri akatunguru cyumu akitena n'ekerwenzori entangawizi eyiwene kutsibu ejuisi eyikalumameru esukali n'omunyu ebyosindibwa kandi ebyosi okwa beyi eyerikaniranye yitungire ebyali ebiwene ebiwutikirisya kandi ebikenihimba omubiri okuwawu ewa mama Rosette Mutundi omudiventi omukatale akamawa
salongo omuntu arasomere cyo kumaisa n'abana bane twarukwiza kusoma ha murundi guno botaba twana isomere rirungi ninkuleka
ingaha narongo tukandika mu kazi abana niza kuba twara ishomero rirungi Mountain Zion Secondary School eri kushanga muri Mubende omutawuni Nyakaronga amahanda gwa Mubende korekera
na kukenga salongo nirye isomero kusomesa abozo n'abaisiki abandi nibasoma nibataha abandi nibararayo baina O level na N level UNEBO center number baina abasomesa abatendekerwe baina amasanyarazi standby generator na solar esaha 24
manya school fees yabo nibasira buri muzire nibashomesa amashomo aga computer arts hamwe na sciences nibahereza basare ahabeji abarukora kurungi bine DSTV okumuza bitekateko by'abeji kandi abeji babo bine mico mirungi nibakora kurungi nibibuzo nibatwara abeji aheru yihanga okurambura no kwega ibintu bisyaka
inga baramale cha msanzu sinya yo kubanza mugenda isomero lya Mountain Zion Secondary School Mubende ebyo kwerinda byabo birungi kandi baina amaizi amarungi ha isomero lyabo liri ha musingi ogwedini ey'abadvent lini isomero likasinga mu bya science mu district ya Mubende omwaka 2019
Mountain Zion Secondary School omuri Mubende basindikira abeji 12 omuza university aha government scholarship okushoma bya science hamwe na arts okumanyira kukiraho tera 0 35 95 54 ninga 0 ina 14 35 12 Mountain Zion Secondary School Mubende moto yabo determination with devotion for excellence.
abanyakasese bolobolo busana n'obulwere bwe corona obwabirihwerekererya abandu banji obulwere buno bwasire si buliko mwana na mukuru mugaga kutsemu nakwa oyisomire kutsi utasomire abandu bosi ikabita alereryo abandu twanganayirenda obulwere buno twamayendera okwabira yero tunabe ebyara ne sabuni twambara ebidewu kandi twirinde ebingungu by'abandu ngasebendi abantu babiri byabakaseisya banyikyabwe ndi obulwere buno sibuleyo kisikoko obulwere buno buni mutabandu kirona mwesi tulangire tuti tukale byalye ebikahimba emibiri yetu tulye ebiwuma esyonyinyi ebiri birimu etangawizi kandi nakatungurusumu nerinyo ebyerinywa ebihuhire n'abana b'esikuru ababiri byokwamatala busananisa esikuru erikingwa ngabasaba ende mwenikendera kwa bindu ebingahwerekerere obwingu bwenyu bwa ruba nahalereryo muwatikaye ababuti nerikora bindu ebingulakulana mwamaendero kwa buzima bw'ekiwo kino obwingu bukendihwerekerera ruba imweneresya rola okwabebuya ebyo munja tunabe ebyala ne sabuni twambara ebidewu twirinde ebingungu by'abandu itwebosi twanaheyeta obulwere bwe corona ninje Kabuo Florence Woman MP Kasese District.
This could unravel in the hours ahead, but as we stand at the moment, it's a bit of a pause until... Police were protecting government buildings. The looters came here to the Uptown neighborhood, and they firebombed and looted each of the stores for a couple of blocks until they got here to Kingdom Word Ministries. That's where David Montgomery is.
I call for a Uganda-wide rebellion. Amin has turned the gun both out of the sweat and toil of the people of Uganda against the same people. He has turned the Pearl of Africa into a human slaughterhouse. I call upon Ugandans in the Uganda Army and Air Force to rise up to their national duty by combining their efforts with those of the masses to overthrow fascist
right dakika nashatu na mukaga muri sha mwenda program light focus ekiriaha arigani ibiri katonyeza mwenda light farmer and we are still together up to 4 pm turiyo makuru kuruga omosiono nanye abutili ya man of all seasons. Kare reka twenjere na makuru agandi kandi shahe jintu je kutandikira aheru ya Africa tubanze tushoreho aheru ya Africa dhonyi na gandi makuru agari ya homal Africa konkaga still nagonaga Africa abukubaga mu Africa na Europe nihanga area Faransa hamwe na nihanga area Equatorial Guinea. France ne shangu muri Europe kandi Equatorial Guinea ne shangwa omuri Africa. Eje national anthem yihanga area France. Okay, Bufaransa na ibemberwa President Emmanuel Macron orurembo rukurumba rweta Paris. Amakuraga kurugoko ngoreka ko Bufaransa rikwiza kusharamu okubasa kwata assets ningashi ebintu bya Vice President wihanga area Equatorial Guinea. Omwebembezo gumba mwetato Theodorin Obianga kandi ni mutabano wabiro mwembezi wihanga eryo kandi ebire bino warukora nka Vice President wihanga ndi rumwe area Equatorial Guinea. So the top appeals court in France is due to rule on the conviction handed to the son of Equatorial Guinea for using public money to fund his lavish lifestyle. Nchigambwangu court na iza kusharamu okurebo echeru kwija korra esente nyama na assets ebyo musigazogu owabireho actually mutabano w'omwembezi wihangeri ya Equatorial Guinea arigambwa ku aine bintu bya man mnonga ebya lifestyle lavish lifestyle ebintu by'obugiga ebyebei ebyarukwekundramu omukuchakara kuro muihanga area Faransa. So if the decision goes against Theodorini Obiang, his assets could be redistributed to the people living in his home country. Mushango kugura amusinge bakajangwa ebintu ebyo nebyingi sebo obyinombo henda biragiro nibija kubigarura omuihanga kuno muri Africa muri Equatorial Guinea bagendo mission no kubidistributing aninga babigabe babigabire abantu bensiye ya Equatorial Guinea. Mr. Obiang, who is the Vice President of Equatorial Guinea, was first convicted omwihangiri ya Faransa mwaka gw'enkumi 2017 kandi wike huire Britain imposed sanctions on him for corruption. Ihangiri ya Bungereza bakamutaona sanctions zabo burubwenguzi takwichirizibwa okora ebintu ebimwe nebimwe. So Equatorial Guinea said the measures were based on lies and warned it would close its embassy in London. Yo Equatorial Guinea ekagira no ebintu ebyo bimukora nebishuba atumwine buhame kandi batinisirizana nokuchinga ekitebe kyabe kikuru ekirikushangwa mu Rembo London orwihanga eri Abongereza. So that is it what's going on kuro muihanga eri Equatorial Guinea hamwe na Faransa bikwatirina n'ogwo musigazi Theodorini Obianga arigambwa ku aine bintu byebei mnonga kandi binjo muri byo abyino muihanga eri Bufaransa. So reka turinde turebe koti ekyerikwija kuba ne musharram yaba ebintu ebyo nejja kuba nebikwata ninga terikwija kuba nebikwata. Kari ntakeyo njire yo makuru gandi dakika nyine 20 zonko kuhendera program reka nshome har messages zanyu zinde zizire. Oguna jangu am King J Everson class B saluting me. Okay, Mr. King J. Unajangu hey Abutili, thanks for the program. I'm Josephat Yidi, bodyguard wa People Power from Mokati. I agree and support lawyer Mabirizi for petitioning Attorney General to court to come out and explain why government is giving money to MPs anyhow, and we should also tell our MPs that we only sent them for 3 reasons: to lobby for us. Ebindi byabura mtayi wanje wasindika message ne bamweta Josephat Yidi. Now sentence nkoku agamba ngu just giving MPs money anyhow, that's not it. Abokube sentence mandated abanyishenjero basheme kutunga esente okugura amamotoka. Ekyo kyo kiriyo mberagiro abokuba member wa parliament tarukwija kutamba ninga kugura motoka obu bwa IPSA mu bwa Rawum. Asheme kuba ine motoka indeed eya honorable. By the way, ba MP bihangeri ya Uganda nibo ba MP aboro wageragera nso mu region. Aba MP bamahanga nka Kenya abamwe bine private jets, abamwe bine amanyonyi. Yes, tukujja mu government niyeru kuzigura, but wagezeho kureba privileges esente ziba kutungana n'ebindi ba MP ba Uganda ne batunga sente nche. Anyway, tokubasa kujangu ni tureka turiye nk'abana babagiga kandi obwe muri abana baboro. But somehow you have to rise your dignity. Mishime kuba mwine rapture nemwe mwine nko kumukurebeka mwe HTNSA kora kahurire ngo uri omwana w'omoro atokwija kugendo jire bitanyagurukire osheme kufuba paka niyo kagura kapare karunjo kakataho rukindo. Then enshonge yo gamba ngu esente ezo ba MP aba abantu aba mtayi wanje urukize abantu abamwe mukabanyangaraza oba bemba shabakaruru mukabashabiriza akabashabaguza tinkumanya ngo haro MP no bwa kubamba kundiga nazinde nguyo no ija abantu no baretere bigambo muntorane amashomero amarwaro entindo okushoma embazi biha rero ti bye mtahe mze kuntera karuru no ebire I remember mwe bakamba shabangu sanitizer ngwe bikwatwa so abantu aba somehow mukabashabiriza esente ezo abamwe bakarya za loan baguza motoka gabo baguze bibanja byabo baguza amaju gabo okureka ngo bafandinga karuru abantu bakabashabiriza mnonga even abamwe 200 million nakasente kache no shanguria akaruru almost akakatamu a billion of money akakatamu 1 billion of money Ugandan shillings ejesha bariyomba mbanja hatari akakade kamwe rather akahumbi kamwe milioni 2 just is a token. It is just like a drop in an ocean akasente kache. So watabarebera ba MP bahunami bona naba opposition naba NRM aba opposition bo babire bakira kwekaza ngo government neshoze sente mbuhenda birajuro egure bintu bitari essential. Mwene bokataka barebere mbazizera bakajangwa twashise sente zo muhiwa mshoreze sente zikaguzire ambulance zikaguzire oxygen zikaguzire vaccine. Why are they not saying so? Nabo bariyo bahunami che. So okay, that is it. Mtayi wanje urikize esente ezo ziri mandated, they are supposed to get that money obasagura amamotoka kare. Message ndi joguna jang, thanks for the program Mr. Presenter. The government promised to give private teachers money to help them during the lockdown, but I don't see any progress about it. What happened? Nabamweta mumbere Fionas from Bwera town. I'm already in class. Mnasemaji watu wetu kutoka iko Kongo, Bwera, Mpondwe ayibare kurichiriza esente zo arho actually abashomesa bakwasira mu district. Is it Katakwi? Recently bakariye sente zabire ziri umusako y'abashomesa konka zenyine zirez government yaraganisa. I think they were around 20 billion kuziteka umusako y'abashomesa ba private. Government sente zo teka zire kuire. That is it. Unajangu, hey dear, the man of all seasons, thank you for the program. Teacher Bwambare Richard from Bugumba in class, and other updates about COVID-19 in Uganda. And Nabuza, when shall the President Museveni address Uganda about lockdown? Museveni will talk probably on Saturday. Then if you are COVID-19 in Jana nabigambireho ninjawa wabihurire Aguna jangu yes Abuti, thanks for the program. Mombere Boaz in class yaramsi abejibona abasini awanu Kinyata SS. Hello Abutli, thanks for the program. Mbusa Dowen in Chirabaho, in which region? Sabia found. Sabia ni shangwe muri Europe. Sabia ni shangwe muri Europe. Hello Abu, thanks for the program. I'm Smolo in class. Hey bro, Smolo Kabura guy. Kazo lockdown in Kahi. Okay, Wariuba Manase in class from Chapa Town Council. Happy Cup meeting to all listeners of Light Focus program. Thank you. Ndijo noha turebe messages in this group. Kare, reka tugaruke kuno makuru. I'll be reading more. Dachikanana na mshanju omurishaha mwenda. Now, ihangiri ya Uganda tuena tuchimanyangu esente currency. Esente zihangiri ya Uganda zilionzi jendu mission no kuchendera omuhendo. Esente zijenzire nizihuamu value somehow. Omuntu wabire akuhereza 15 mwaka gwe 2022 akaba yakuhereza sente nyingi. Echa bitano chikachi chine value. I remember by then ababembanywa soda bitano zikanzigura soda bitano zikanzigura ziteze chishani. I remember when we were younger ebironke ebyo bikuru byo kwira amachachi nkaho bakutere chishani haro kamera zeze birebyo ekishani shiringi bitano zikaziriye sente zikine mu omuhendo zikaziriye sente ziri nyinjiho bitano eziwabirogura ebintu byinjo gura hemineke bitano kugura ebikwijo bya bitano ko tabiheza konka hati bitano zibire nka 10 ebiro biri ya shiringi 10 nacho kikanchugura ebintu byinji hata karo sente obarkweta 5 cent bwa shiringi 5 tinkumanya obwo kaburahi mazire nk'emyaka tinkabure bagaburu homtwe bakaguriyo mtwe gwente. So esente zijenzere nisuwa mu value ezihangiri ya Uganda ebirebi shiringi 10 nerugura chapati just nerugura ekishana buri kikashiriye cya 5 hati nico cya 10 so dekeri ya 5 hati ne ya 10 esente zijenzere nisuwa mu value 15 hati before you know it omudakika 30 niziza hwireho nebiwagurota kubireba omutwarwa ejeshaha esente omuri Uganda zihwirwemu omuhendo emtwari kumenyuma okugura ekibanja kihango ejeshaha na milioni baza kuhana bakwanka kuri ifife kuri kuri yo mujera kuri ya mukisharara sente zihwiremu value ebirebi ezihanga eri Uganda tiza Uganda zonkana ne sente za Uganda mahanga. So I'm going to give you Africa's strongest currencies. Esentes chasire yo omuhendo ezichinemu value. Esentes chinemu amani. Aha omuyangiri ya Uganda omutwaru guherire mchimwe amani ne sente nche to some people though ombantu abandi nizichikora konka wagerageranisa how it was a decade ago. Okay, comparing na hati noreba ngwe sente za Uganda zihwire mu value. So amahanga mingi of course Africa garion gatoba economically ahabwo burwire bwa COVID-19 and some currencies within the continent have also grown weaker compared to the US dollar ninga pound. Sente za mahanga agamwe zihwirire mchimwe amani mnonga wagerageranisa na dola ya America hamwe na pound ya Bongereza. So people living standards and dwindling national economy have been the major contributing factors to the scrimping currencies. Sente zijenzire nsuwa muhendo konkaba mbantu abakutura lavish lifestyles abakutura magaraga gaka sente abamwe nabo baresire sente za wamani. So here I'm going to give you top 10 strongest African currencies wa comparing na dola yihanga area America. Sente zo kubanza ezichinemu amani aho muri Africa ne sente zihangiri ya Libya mbazeta dina. Sente zihangiri ya Libya mbazeta dina. Omanyengu amahanga mingi gine nko garukweta currencies zago. Echo kurebera aho muri Uganda ntukozese sente zibarukweta shillings na Kenya nico chumwe. Tanzania mbako sama Rwanda mbako sama faranga na Tanzania of course ni shillings. Then Rwanda mbako sama faranga, Democratic Republic of Congo mbako sa dola, Zimbabwe mbako sa dola, Japan mbako sa yen, kandi ihanga erya Bungereza mbakosa pound, ihanga erya Spain, Italy gonga kosa euro, then ihanga erya Libya mbakosa dinar, America mbakosa pound, nagandi mahanga arona gakosa franc. So esente za Libya nibazeta dinar, woine dollar emwe noguramu Libyan dinar, actually mbaji abbreviating nka LOD, Libyan dinar nogura dinar woine dinar erikwinga na 1.41 nogura US dollar emwe. So the Libyan dinar has maintained its solid position for quite many years as the strongest currency compared to the dollar. Africa isente za Libya nizo sigire zinamani nobukira bikiringu despite the ongoing conflict after the toppling of the long-time ruler Muammar Gaddafi, the northern African country has maintained a low turnover of its currency to the US dollar. Nobukira bikiringu kano Muammar Gaddafi akitwa emyaka 11 hingwire konka dina esente zihanga eza Libya zigizamani still African continent. Esente zindi ezigizamani ne dina eyihangiri ya Tunisia nabomba ko sente zibarukweta dina mbaz abbreviating nka DT. Now woine 2.87 dina Tunisian dina 2.87 nogura dole emwe ya America. Ejukengu aho mu ihangiri ya Uganda woine dole emwe no jigura almost negura 10,000 na rushanju enyuma haho wanogura woine dola ya America emwe orukwenda kugihindura za Uganda waza Forex Bureau okuhindura bakwereza hagati ya 15,000 enyuma haho zibeziri 15,000 amiye to check kureba kuzireza yonjire ninga zikagaruka zikashuma. So dola emwe ya America negura 10,000 za Uganda. So wageragera nsa noreba ngu Tunisian dinar iyo just noine dinar ibiri na nobuchweka 87 ogure duri emwe. Kandi omuri East Africa shilling ya Uganda almost niyo kukira yo kwamani niyo sente ezire ne hwamani mnonga actually woine 10 rwa Kenya noine sente nyingi oine 10 rwa Kenya no basa kusiba nurya hizo baryona uryo mu hotel nunji nkaho muri Kaseso mu town konkaru kumurwaha urwa Uganda oba warire tokunywa wayambwa nunywa tokurya konka tukubikora byombe arukumi rwa Uganda no. Okay, another northern African country ihangiri ya Tunisia naryo akasente karyo nekaremera. Then hijaza hihangiri ya Ghana esente zabo nibazeta sedi Ghanaian sedi ombugufu nibajeta HG nibajeta GH actually GH Ghanaian sedi. Oshemerire kubo oine Ghanaian sedi 5 nobuchwekana na mwenda okugura doli emwe ya America. Ghanaian currency is still leading within the sub-Saharan Africa. Sub-Saharan tumanyisa mahanga garukuri ahari Sahara Desert omara Africa amahanga gariyoko. So amahanga gariyoko Ghana niyo kuchira yokubana na esente zinemu muhendo ezinemu value. Ojuke ngu omusente ekintu ekizirimu ekyamani ni value ahasigara sente yetari mu value neri ekipapura kwonka abakore sente ezo bine ekintu ekibakuziteeka mu zikaba valued zikagira value. So ekintu ekyorugura kishemerire kuba kiri equal in value na ne sente zoriyo no hayo kore no ndempare y'omutwaro ogwaruguze empare yarakwe oshemerire kumuhereza sente ezirimu value eri equal to that money omuri sente zoriyo no muha. Of course obwire nyine bugufu kushobora ebi oba dekani njira reka to listing down just a sente okuzina mani. So Ghana kuri twaheza ihangeri ya Canaan Morocco esente za Morocco mbazeta dirham Moroccan dirham oshemerire kuboina oine mad mbazeta mad ombugufu Moroccan dirham mbazeta mad ombugufu shemerire kuboine mad mwenda nobuchweka 20 gura US dollar emwe. Morocco has in many years pegged its currency at 60% to the euro and 40% to the US dollar. Morocco also enjoys doing direct trade with various European countries given its closeness to Europe. ihanga lya kugira ngu riri na Europe bo bakora business direct. Ihanga erindi ni Botswana, esente za Botswana mbazeeta pura ombugufu mbazeeta p just so oshemeye kuba ine pura eziri kwingana 11 na n'obucweka mukaaga okugura US dollar emwe. Ojike ngo sente za America zibari kweta dollar ne sente z'ekitinisa esente ezo tibakuzingamu dollar ya America wajizinga ne yafa either no basa kujizinga round nkoko kureba kuba koma bandage wano nda kukoma bandage hakatikayo then ohezo jizingure. You can do that but tokubasa kuzihendamu koko kuri abanya Uganda mba kwate sente nazihendamu kabiri aziteko mu wallet ninga aziteko mu nshawo. Esente za America zushembe kuba zishemerire kuguma ziri straight. Ejon yodora eyine kitinisa chamani mnonga wazihendamu bakugwaho nchinchi shana nkaha esente za Uganda bakushango zitire mu ekituri ne bakusiba. Esente tushemeye kuziteka mu ekituri, tushemeye kuzihandikaho, tushemerire kuziramba ngo nyezi ne sente zanje naziramba ukazitagura ho nkanshonda nkaho. Okay. Ihangeri ya mukaga ni Zambia, esente za Zambia mbazeta kwacha. Mbugufu mbazeta ZK Zambian kwacha ZK oshemeye kuboine ZK ninga si Zambian kwacha ezirukwingana 13 n'obucweka buna kugura US dollar emwe. Ihangeri ya mushanju ne barieta accessories esente zo kwimbazeta Seychelles rupee ne bazeta SR mbugufu oshemeye kuboina 13 n'obucweka nkaga na buno kugura US dollar emwe. Okay, ihangeri ya South Africa sente zabo mbazeta rand oshemeye kuboine ara ninga randi 14 n'obucweka 8 na mushanju okugura US dollar emwe. Ihangeri ya mwenda ne Eritrea esente zabo mbazeta nakufa Eritrea nakufa oshemeye kuboine NFK nkweba kuzeta mbogufu ezirkwingana 15.00 okubasagura US dollar emwe. Kuriyo muri Egypt mbako sente zibari kweta pound Egyptian pound oshemeye kuboine pound ezikwingana 15 n'obucweka 8 na mukago kugura US dollar emwe. So embera nkwerietyo ombyaka sente omura East Africa no country has made it to the top 10 omahanga gachine currencies ezine mu value. Okay, ojuke nkuru mu ihanga erya Zimbabwe bo bakajemeserezebwa no kora noti eya $20,000 abo kwenda kutunga esente ezirazo mu saturation kandi zineho value okwirinda inflation yo kwata ebisente byingi bikaba mu ihanga bitine mugasho. Kare edakika nasigazi ibirizo nko kuhendera program reka tuhendere n'amakuru okuruga kuri mu ihanga Iria Ivory Coast. Yesterday nkwira makuru ngu omwebembezi Gbagbo abiri actual omwebembezi Kantara abiri naza kubugana omwebembezi Gbagbo abebembezi aba babiri omwen former audition current president mbamweta Alassane Kantara kandi former mbamweta Laurent Gbagbo abebembezi aba tuire batakurebana batakwatansa actually hakabona civil war hagati yemba juzombiri abafire bafa binji omuhangerio so they've not been at par. Konka yesterday barjire ba meeting kandi omwebembezi former Laurent Gbagbo yashaba the sitting president Alassane Kantara yamjerati nyaburawe nyoto aturiya bugarukana kunywa mwaka chaya atebo abantu bona bakwatirwe ntwaruzo by'obutegecho barekure free all the war political prisoners abantu bona abakwatirwe entaruzo by'obutegechi abarekure rero babase kugendo mission na okuba bamwe. Kare amakuru aho no gagarukira gito atwinire ahabwa light focus yerizoba edishaza herize kwikikumi kare kandi mchirize nkusibura hatwatagana izo beri yanyicha kare mu program ni yemwe ya light focus. Bye bye.
Tuwenya muwanga yoko bindu byetu twayikelubula twashabulibwe nibiri
ewa sinje nene okwabo abakaherera ya echihembo echa Light FM ibwa esimweberera wa esimwaroherera erihereri yacho kumeni ongera mbere erihereri echihembo echa Light FM omubiri wo mukama enyanatoka erekoleka okwa Light FM abo abakaherera yacho omukama ni abahereri omubisa nabo abane mulengaho erianziri hereri yacho mukomeni ongera erihereria mukama kendi ongera erebatumura masinja kutse
nawe tumuhe kubindu tuwite omulamna wetu.
Your local time check.
It is exactly 4 p.m. Time check is brought to you by
102.9 Light FM. On the way, at home, and everywhere.
You can follow us online www.lightfm.fun, Facebook 102.9 Light FM, on YouTube AWR 102.9 Light FM, the voice of hope. On Google, just type AWR 102.
Bakaure ishe simu, smartphones, esha mapese, iPads, esiro original kandibwa bakashwa pinga simu cards, laptop bags, na bikape bya bakali, esha wayisha masenyerezi, nesha sola, ebindu ebyo esha bikakolesa ya masenyerezi, na bikakolero kwa sola, bane nabyo, bakaure ya mandawo esha simu, esha jacket, bali aba witebere original kundibwa, bakabi musayo kwikorero, omunyarugenda bara, owe chitwamba, ebuhuhera, barekisa ngoma kutomeria, yenda uholero okubalya, wangana baberekerako, 0 nguma, 22 na 0 chena nyinibiri, ani nini, nini. Batani itwebo situwurere, omwaba promise phones and solar world, omweteo niye rugenda bara, okwa stage ye Fort Portrait.
Mrama ya lwere, gana chane ndo umupime.
Musera yenu. Ahambiri wati?
Dakitana isunga isi, betu lanza umupime.
Mwira wawu toma mupima alwere sukali nokweryo womutangere byakali obundu era ebyali bisihirire ebiri mu sukali nene ebikande
ate tujja kungamba nti mulindwa Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa talina buvunaanyizibwa okukuza omupiira gwa Uganda naye ttiimu y'eggwanga enamba esambira wano. Therefore you will be very myopic to undermine the efforts of the president of Vipers Sports Club asobola okukkiriza buli omu amasaza ne gasamba kilabu za KCC ne zijja ne zisambira wano zaani ne zisambira wano. Where are you going to get such a person? Don't praise me after death. Start now.